All right, look at that. I got a haircut and everything for today. I got a haircut for the fucking 3 Homer Simpson hairs that I have. Had her give me a little trim. So today Dell is not joining us. He's having he's dealing with some family stuff that arose. So you got me running the helm here, which is, hey, it's all right. I've been doing this lately. Dell's been doing some family stuff. So here I am. So in case you guys are wondering, today we're going to have a nice little panel show. We're going to bring up some topics with some really cool guys. They couldn't make it, so I got these guys instead. All right, so here we go. We're going to bring up J Rob. There you go. Say hello, J Rob.
Hello, hello.
Okay, that's enough. That's good. Then we have Ish. There you go. There he goes. Yeah, that's Ish. As much as you're going to get from Ish. You got Efren. Look at that guy. It's been a while.
What he's not telling you is that I was the 17th pick in the 138th round of the draft this for tonight's show. So
yeah, that is true. Everyone else was not available. Then we have Matt.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yes.
I tried not to. I tried to hold it back, but I have to say something to make Caesar mad at me every time. Did y'all notice in the intro that Caesar added an open comic book that wasn't there before, but he like snuck in?
That's bullshit. You never paid attention. Those are Dell's kids.
Listen, bro. No, there's an open comic book.
It's Dell's stuff.
You don't even see the kids. I just see a dark screen with an open comic book like it's been read.
Oh, I don't know. And then that's not me. It's Dell. 100%.
Yeah, I missed it. I was drinking whiskey and trying to see the Joker preview. But
right before Caesar's 2 different walls of fame, there's an open comic book just sitting there, and it stays there for like a good 6 of the 52 seconds.
Caesar's trolling everyone.
Did you guys know that Caesar from Planet of the Apes was named after Caesar?
Oh, see, now that's funny. That's funny because I have been hearing that since I was 6 years old. You son of a bitch. So
1962 since the first one.
I trust me, I know about it. So we're gonna have a few topics today. See, there you go. Dell's like my kids. See, you can blame Dell. Thanks, Dell, for backing me up. Because how dare I open a book? So you know it's BS. Okay, we have a few topics today, guys. We're gonna have a good show. I'm gonna throw out some topics, and we're going to discuss. And I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. You want to go straight to the trailers and just get that over with?
Nah.
What do you think?
I don't think so.
Now you want to hold it back a little bit?
I think we can kind of like sprinkle them throughout,
Okay.
Start with the turtle ducks.
Metaphorically blow our load in the beginning.
That's good.
Shout out to everyone in the room. Shout out to everyone that's watching. Listen, if y'all are watching on Facebook, take a second, go over to YouTube, watch it on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, do something. Just watch it for a couple seconds. Share it up. Share it with your people. It's a dope panel here. It's always an honor to be on the show. Caesar's the man. So make sure y'all share it up, get it out to the people, man. This is going to be some dope content with some good people.
That's right. I am the man. So that being said, let's do this, people. So Kevin Feige finally announced, and I was talking to J Rob in the green room about this. So Kevin Feige announced that Blade movie is not done. The Blade movie will continue. It's not dead. So everyone stop panicking and stuff like that. I told J Rob, I personally kind of think he kind of made that to make the new Blade kind of relax. Right? Because kind of like, hey, buddy, you're still in the film. You are still our Blade, our new Blade. So take a chill pill, because he's been talking about how he didn't like the script, he didn't like where it's going, blah blah blah. We're talking about
Mahershala Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Are you guys happy? You guys still on board with the whole Blade, or are you gonna be? I'll believe it when I see it. Oh, there you go.
Ish got issues already.
Issue already has. Now we're polar opposites. So let's go with you, J Rob. What do you think about?
Of course, I want to see a Blade movie. I mean, when Blade came out, I believe that was 96. That was transcendent, and I would like to see, what it is they can bring to the screen, with the advancement that we've had over time. I'm all in, and he also promised that it's going to be a R-rated movie. that they're not going to water it down. He said the original was, and so will this. So, I'm in.
All right. Ish.
So I guess personal opinion is one thing, right? Versus just realism and what's realistic. Realistically, nobody was marking for a Blade movie any more than they were marking for a Blade comic. Realistically, so like, do we really need a Blade movie? Like, is it something that we need as far as, you know, furthering the MCU and advancing the MCU? What is his place and where does he fit? Right? Is he going to be on an Avengers team, or does he fall into a Midnight Suns team and they open up this whole aspect of that? Because as of right now, he doesn't fit on an Avengers team. He just doesn't. He doesn't fit in the MCU. And of course, there's a nostalgia thing, right? Obviously, Marvel has this way of taking obscure characters. Blade is obscure, if you're talking mainstream, right? And making them, you know, they took Guardians of the Galaxy and made them dope and made them relevant and made people want to see them. And the original Blade movie did the same thing. So there's that. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Blade it's necessary. All this Mahershala Ali and his back, it's not even necessary. It's just not necessary. Doesn't mean I don't want to see it. I don't think it's going to be whack or anything. I just don't think it's necessary.
All right. Well, listen to that. There's Dell in spirit. There he is. Look at that. He has to tell us yo first and what's up and then stuff. I think he wants to like be part of the show.
Shout out John Brugman. Shout out Tyler Dallas. Shout out y'all.
Hey, so let me ask you guys, who's next? You, Matt. What are you thinking?
So I see both points, right? Not to be Switzerland, but I definitely wasn't checking for a Blade movie. I think the idea of Mahershala Ali playing Blade is very intriguing. But I was just listening to, I think it was the Cosmic Wonder today on YouTube, and the sentiment is at Marvel that if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right, and it's however long it's gonna take for us to get it right. We'll just do it until it is right, but we're not gonna, pull punches or half-ass anything. We're gonna do right by the IP. We're gonna do right by the fans, and I agree with that. I think that one of the first products we can see of that is A Brave New World, right? I know we're talking about Blade. I don't want to sidetrack it, but I mean the reception for the trailer was really good, and we heard a lot of horror stories about the production of it. So and I think that trailer restored a lot of faith in people. It got a lot of people hype. And it did what it was supposed to do, especially on the heels of a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So, let them cook, right? Let them cook. And, I'm not trying to glaze anybody here. I'm not trying to be a glazer, but, in Feige we trust. So, he ain't let me down thus far. A lot of gripes that people have about the MCU. I wasn't as bothered as them. I think, he's earned that from me. And, I look forward to seeing what more comes from it.
All right. Efren.
So I'm going to be Puerto Rico since we got Switzerland and other countries. Do we need the movie? No. But let's remember that it was one of the first significant Marvel movies that came out. And it was okay. I've gone back and rewatched them. They weren't great, but they're part of why we're seeing what we're seeing today. Don't give me that. Don't give me that crap, man. I love Wesley Snipes when he did them, and I love the movies. They were good. They weren't great. They were fun to watch. But now that we're going into a different arena of technology, they want to do it right, and they want to come back in and see what we can do. So I'm gonna watch it, just like I watched all the other movies, the good ones, the bad ones. I watch them all because of my love for Marvel. Now, I don't think we need it. Just like we don't need another Crow movie, and they're doing the new Crow movie, and they're not changing. They're not changing the character. We're still getting Kraven again, and it shouldn't be going that direction. So that's where I think they should take it a different direction. I think that the timing that they're dropping everything, there's a significant factor in that. So hold my thoughts and reserves until what I see on Thursday, because I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to see 1 to 3 variants of Blade in Deadpool. I don't know, but I think that's why they dropped it. and that's why the timing is where it's going. Regardless of what they do, I'm going to watch it.
I think it's a better suited. Actually, now that you mentioned that, and that someone mentioned the TV shows, and know that they did the Werewolf by Night, and they're doing all these Halloween specials. I think it's better suited as a television show.
Agreed.
Actually, I think it would be.
They could do R. They could do rated R on you know, and just have the parental whatever on it. Let's be honest, Blade is not a PG movie. He's not a PG character. Period. Right.
But to Ish's point, where does he fit in if it's going to be long standing? You know, one of the shows that I don't know. Matt, you might be too young to remember this, but there was a show called Werewolf back in the late 80s, early 90s that was phenomenal. But it didn't fit. They were doing it because they were doing the whole vampire thing. It was when Buffy came out, and it was when Teen Wolf came out. So that was where that fit in terms of TV. Where does Blade fit in to continue any kind of character, unless he's standalone show? Where are they going to go with it?
You know, go ahead, Caesar.
No, I was going to say, how funny would it be if once the new Blade movie comes out, they do the scene with the drop of the blood coming through the sprinklers, sort of an homage to Wesley Snipes one. Because come on, man, that still hits hard.
It's interesting, right? Because in comics, we see Blade occasionally as an occasional Avenger, and we see this. Yeah. Does the mainstream movie watching community buy Blade as an Avenger? Is that the route that they go, and do they buy that?
Well, I don't think they do. I think that, the expectation is that, the introduction of a Blade would lead into more of a Midnight Sun situation, which for me personally is a stretch, right? I don't know that I want to see Midnight Suns. Yeah. Now, if I was King Feige for a day, I think that what I would do is I would vector a lot of these like horror properties, the Ghost Riders, if I do a Midnight Sun, a Blade, I would make them miniseries like they do not a one shot. Like Werewolf by Night could have been that could have got a lot more eyes on it if they would have done a full production mini TV series in that manner, in that black and white, noir manner. I would have loved something like that. And I equally would be down for a Blade series, right? I mean, Blade movies have been done before, right? And
series has been done as well.
Say it again?
Series was done as well.
There was a Blade series?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers from Onyx was Blade. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And it was R-rated too. It was R-rated. But it begs the question, right? What leaked? And I'm glad at the very least they're going back to it and they're going to do it right, because it begs the question: why did they associate Dane Whitman with Blade? Like, where were you going by putting the Black Knight and Blade together? Is
that not a comic thing? Are they not chummy? Because that felt really awkward and out of place for me.
I don't think I've ever seen them in the same panel. I mean, Black Knight isn't in comics currently at all, period. Like he used to be an Avenger, but in present 21st century, you just don't see him at all. Like anyway.
See, I was under the impression that they had team ups, and that because of those team ups, that's what they were trying to emulate in the next,
it's just not a thing.
Yeah, just using Kit Harington's star drawing power. That's what that is.
That's fair.
Thing. I mean, it's Kit Harington. You're gonna have a whole different demographic of people that don't watch things coming just to watch it because it's Kit Harington.
So then,
like, okay, do you put
and why not just do a Black Knight series?
I wonder what they're doing, right? Do they put Black Knight in the Midnight Sun side of things, or you know what I mean? Because he's relatively weak, with the exception of the sword.
Yeah.
Right, the sword is all the power, right? I mean, it's like he himself is. Does the sword give him strength? Does the sword give him this?
Doesn't make him super strong or anything like that.
Right. It's just him wielding the sword.
And he's not. I don't think he's strong enough to hold his own in a series. He's a good supporting character here and then popping up, but on his own,
he wasn't even a good Avenger. I hate to say it. Like it was like. He had one cover, that Marvel 25th anniversary cover, that was dope though. But other than that, like, yo,
I like him because I'm into knights and stuff like that. He's a combination of everything that I like: a superhero and a knight. I mean, to me, it's the Black Knight. It's he sings to me. But now that I'm thinking about it, he wields the sword, and the ebony sword, isn't it? Is that what it's
The
called?
ebony
Ebony
blade.
Ebony blade. See, I know some shit. It's just weird that you're right. So this is the thing. You are correct. Back in the day, they could not do a Blade TV show correctly or right the way they would want to. But now with Netflix and Disney and all those shows that can go with, I mean, they're gonna do a Spider-Man noir live action. We're gonna see how that goes. They're already casting. They're doing this and doing that.
Is it Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, the probabilities with all that, what they could do in TV shows, it's basically movie theater quality. How many TV shows we seen like this is some good shit. This could be in the theaters. Back in the old days, when you watch a TV show, it was meant to be a TV show. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, that looks pretty bad, or it's not that great. It's not as violent.
I mean, let's be honest. Some of those movies should have been TV shows too.
No, absolutely.
Oh no!
You know, I think Eternals could have been a TV show.
Stop.
No, I'm much more happier with an Eternals movie experience, right?
All right, well, let's talk about that because that's.
I think it would be corny if they did it in a series because every episode they go to a different like point in time and historical relevant. I mean, that would be kind of corny. I think taking us through it in a documentary style movie, the way what was her name, Chloe Zhao did. I think that was I think it was her style. It was
beautifully done.
I
think it was very beautifully done. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it. And go ahead.
Well, no, because they announced that Kevin Feige said, yeah, that's not going to happen. So we're going to completely wipe Eternals #2 off the phase number 475 or fucking.
Is that a quote? Is that a direct quote? It's not happening.
I don't think he said.
There are no plans for it at the moment.
He's dead.
It's dead.
Yeah, it's as dead as Laura Kinney's not going to be in Deadpool.
It's dead.
Right.
And then we saw that trailer.
Well, that is okay.
Here's the thing.
He's in Deadpool?
And permit me to
not see the trailer.
To really
not
take so-called fanboys to task. And I'm gonna take them to task. I have to right now because Efren said something, Matt said something, and I'm also going to second. I'm gonna second what they said. I also didn't think Eternals was as bad as many people thought it did when it first dropped. And here's the thing, and here's what I'm discovering. And this is why I said I'm going to take so-called fanboys and fangirls to task. People are also saying that about the Marvels. They're starting to recant when these movies first dropped. Everybody and their mom, oh, it's horrible. It's the worst thing I've ever saw. It's blah 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 blah. And it's because of something else. It was completely because of something else that you said this. Because as time passed, now it's, well, the Marvels wasn't really that bad. And the reason why is because people are watching it in retrospect, and as years pass,
but wait,
they're going to forget these sentiments, and they're going to watch these movies.
We were on a show together, and I called that, and I said,
yeah,
people are going to watch that, and they're going to come back and be like, oh, wait, that's actually pretty good, and that makes sense now. Okay.
Yes.
We called that the last time.
We were both on
together.
Yeah, it was right before the Marvels came out. Listen. People are now saying, yeah, the Marvels wasn't that bad. And they'll say, well, I didn't like the musical part, but yeah, it wasn't the worst movie. And you're finding, same with Eternals. Eternals was the worst Marvel movie ever made when Eternals dropped, according to everyone, period. And it was because of some other crappy reasons, which I'm not going to get into, but there was a whole bunch now.
No, stupid reasons.
The dumb reasons. Now
really
the general
stupid.
consensus is, well, it wasn't the worst movie. Because when you look at it, years removed, and people who didn't have your so-called fanboy mechanisms at play look at it, they're going to be like, why did you think it was so bad?
I mean, visually alone, I was watching it. It was up there with Dune. I thought Dune and Charles were visually just phenomenal to watch.
Just let you guys know, and I told J-Rob this in the green room, my wife's going to be leaving town for a few days. So guess what, Caesar's, since I'm not working either yet, because I don't have a fucking job, I'm going to not read Eternals. But what I am going to do, I'm going to be watching movies I haven't. So I'm going to be watching Marvels. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch Dune 2 that I haven't seen yet. So I'm catching up all the shit, even Harley Quinn. I'm going to watch.
Have you seen Daredevil?
Have I seen Daredevil? What's wrong with you, Efren?
I'm just making sure.
Well,
The one with
well,
Ben
yeah,
I gotta check. I gotta ask.
I
guess
just
what
finished
I'm
Have you
trying,
seen Daredevil with Ben Affleck?
what I'm trying to say, you
Did you know
morons,
John Bernthal was the Punisher?
what I'm trying to say, you goons, is that I did not watch the Marvels because people were like, "Don't waste your time."
He watched
Oh.
Defenders though.
So I did watch Defenders. Son of a bitch! I wish I did, but I did watch Defenders. You know, pants back up. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I'm gonna definitely watch the Marvels because okay, you know what? Now I'm finding out because I always talked about I don't allow people to dictate what I watch because people. I did. I actually allowed that in my mind to kind of seep in there. I'm gonna watch it and form my own opinion because
I think
it
a lot
always
of people
happens.
I think a lot of people fall trapped to that, right? There's this whole idea, like you guys are touching on something that's such a bigger social dilemma, and it's this groupthink idea, right? This idea that it's a trend, it's in to bash on things and make jokes about it, or fall on one side of the political spectrum or the other, or use these spin words or that spin words. And I think that Marvel wasn't immune to that. It became there was a train, there was a bandwagon of people who were consistently bashing movies that came after Endgame and really after No Way Home. They just couldn't get it right after that, and rightfully so.
It started with the introduction of Captain Marvel. We're just gonna call it what it is. When
I like
Captain
Captain
Marvel got
Marvel.
introduced into the Marvel movies, a bunch of trends just arose. And Marvel, we saw
Do you
that
think
Marvel
that's
wasn't
intentional?
immune to it. Say again.
Do you
Yes,
think that's intentional, or was that
Yes.
circumstantial?
The moment
Yes.
they paid homage to A-Force, it was a wrap for Marvel. Everything was now under a credit. And that Endgame movie, when all those women came together collectively for one scene to just give an
The
A-Force
theater
Easter egg,
erupted. The theater
it was a wrap. And Marvel was, the immunity to it was out the window. And now everything was going to be criticized. Everything was going to be criticized.
I also mentioned that Eternals was made for people like me. What do I mean by that? I don't fucking read. So I have nothing. I mean, I didn't know jack shit about the Eternals.
Nobody
Nothing.
did, though, to be fair.
Well, nobody did. Let's be fair. But
Nobody
there are
read
people
Eternals.
who did read a few. There's probably a couple of Ish Juniors out there who probably did read it.
No,
But-
it's the hardest thing to read in the history of Marvel. Like
But I
nothing.
was-
Neil Gaiman couldn't make Eternals good, and he tried. He couldn't.
But what I'm trying to say, I'm one of those people who just doesn't. I didn't. You watch it for what it is, and it was all right. Eternals was all right.
I feel like that's applicable to anything that's come out in Marvel. If you just appreciate it for what it is and not put your expectations of what you think it should be, right? You guys know where I sit on She-Hulk, and all these things that we're talking about and recanting. I can't wait till She-Hulk gets that same level of like, you know what, it wasn't that bad. Oh, I didn't realize that She-Hulk was this kind of character, and that it's
But
it's
not to mention, it wasn't far off from what
it wasn't. It was spot on.
It was.
It was great.
It was.
So I can look at the whole Marvel catalog, and you guys know I'm critical of like Endgame and Infinity Wars. I'm critical of certain movies, right? There's movies that I'm going to tell you just sucked, right? Like one of those Thor movies, one of those Iron Man movies,
one of them,
right? And the thing is, yeah, two of them. But the thing is, though, there's so many Marvel movies. The majority of them, even the ones that I don't think are great, I wasn't mad at. Like I wasn't upset. Right, Eternals didn't make me mad. I wasn't like, oh, this is. I wasn't upset. I wasn't even upset at Black Widow, and there were some things about it I just didn't like, but I wasn't.
I wasn't upset at Madam.
You know
Web.
what I mean?
And Madam.
Oh no, Madam Web.
I wasn't upset either.
I'm on the stand.
But see, hold on. So
Hold
let
on.
me tell you one thing. I was going into that movie. I wanted to know how they were going to portray her powers on the big screen. That's hard. And they did a pretty good job, I think, of portraying her powers on a big screen. The movie, the writing, wasn't great. But the fact that they did a decent job portraying her powers on cinema, you got to look at it from that perspective. She's got different kind of Spidey powers. She's not the typical kind of spider person.
I
So
like
her powers,
Spider-Man that will murder you.
Yeah.
Like I just
So
like that concept. Like we're gonna have a Spider-Man that'll murder you.
How do you put that on the big screen? How do you
Ooh.
show that? And
Oh.
I appreciated that about the movie. I didn't love the movie, and I didn't think it was great, but I enjoyed that, and that's the reason that I watched it from start to finish.
No, I watched it from start to finish. I was biting my pillow the whole fucking time, but I was watching
Yo,
it.
come on, man.
And I tell you what,
Can
I
we get a
watched
no Diddy on that.
No Diddy. I'm just about to say
Can we
that.
get a no Diddy on that.
Got the no ditties.
Oh
And,
God.
you know, there was definitely no lack of no titties. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is
All right, I'm going both ways.
Wow.
what I'm trying to do is
Did I put myself on
Madam-
timeout?
Madam Web was hard to watch. Some parts, I'm not gonna lie, were kind of cool. The way they did some of the stuff, some of the special effects, I was like, all right, I'm cool with that. But some of the plot lines, the way they did things, made absolute no sense.
None.
And it means
Zero.
a lot when you catch yourself screaming at a TV. Once again, my wife was out of town. I was screaming at the TV, and then I paused for a second. I looked around. I go, "What the fuck am I doing? Who's listening to me?"
But you should have stopped about 30 minutes into the movie.
I was
All right,
58 minutes into it.
But hold on. You should like right when the movie started, it was trash.
Yeah, it's true.
But you should have taken a step back and open mind. What can I appreciate about this movie? And I'm sorry, I'm talking to the wrong person. Caesar doesn't read comics.
I was committed.
So here's the deal.
I was already committed. I was already vetted.
I
My time was
100% agree
already
with
in.
you, Efren.
As a very, very lenient and forgiving fan in the fandom of properties becoming movies, and I say that being that I don't love any of the Venom movies, right? I'm not a fan of the Venom movies, but I can understand and appreciate them, that they were a thing, right? I sat down to watch Madam Web. It's on Netflix right now. And my daughter, she pitched it to me like, hey, this will be a good idea. Let's watch it. It's funny. It's funny. It's like terribly bad funny. And so I think I was maybe 10 minutes into the movie, and all the shots of the characters in spoilers, right? All of the shots of the characters in costume, right? Of what I was looking forward to.
Right.
All of them, the clips from the trailer were like in the first 10 minutes of like this flashback thing. And I was
Step
like,
one.
really? I was
That's
like, oh, man,
Step one.
That's Sony.
really? They're
You
gonna
never
blow
seen a
off
Sony
the trailer
trailer?
shot right now?
You never
And-
seen a
and-
Sony trailer before? They did put the best in the trailer. Like everything that's dope is
Bro.
in the trailer.
That's not the part that upset me. When my daughter told me, yeah, that's the last time you're gonna see them in costume for the entire movie, I said, I'm done. I got up and walked away. If I'm not watching this to see Sydney Sweeney in, Jessica Carpenter, is it Julia Carpenter, Spider-Woman costume, then why am I watching this?
You see him
Why?
again. You see him again one more time. But so
Well,
for
you
me, to agree with Efren, for me, it was so this is what it was for me, right? Because Jay and I talked about this before. Jay thinks that the movie is horribly bad, and we've talked about it. And the reason why I didn't was so I didn't see it in the wave when it came out. I wasn't a part of the group of people who talked about how bad it was because they seen it when it came out. I watched it a couple weeks ago on Netflix when I didn't have anything else to do. And here I am watching a comic movie. You know, something that I grew up reading. I was familiar with these characters. I grew up reading it, and it's like, okay, I don't have anything else to watch. There's nothing on Crunchyroll that I want to watch right now. None of my wrestling shows are on this late at night. I'm up.
Oh yeah.
Put it on. And when it was over, I said, okay, this is dumb. This is dumb. I wouldn't have done this way. And why is she going halfway around the world in like 45? It's craziness, right? So it just doesn't make sense.
That's
right?
That's one of the parts I was screaming at.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. But at the end, right? So first of all, the villain was compelling. He was absolutely a compelling villain. Which to me is an essential ingredient. And when you have a movie like that, this wasn't just some dud. You know what I mean? And it's especially because he's a character that doesn't exist anywhere else. So he took a totally obscure character that doesn't exist anywhere else, and they made him compelling. And by the time the movie ended, I was like, okay, well, this was stupid, but I'm not mad. Like I'm not mad like I was when I watched whatever movie
Peter
that
Quill
Iron Man
and
was,
Wonder
where they
Woman.
just wasted
That
Ben
pissed me
Kingsley.
off.
I punched myself. After the
2?
movie.
Was that 2?
Whichever one they wasted Ben Kingsley, I was upset.
Oh, that
I
was
was
That was
really
Iron Man
upset.
Oh, 3.
How
Iron Man
mad were
3.
you?
Like, I was
How
like,
Three
yo,
mad were
worst
you?
Iron Man.
Three is the
ever.
worst Iron Man of all.
Yes.
I
Iron Man.
was upset. Like, yo,
Very,
really?
very bad movie.
Y'all could have made Ben Kingsley one of the. He could still be one of the best Marvel villains right now as the Mandarin.
No, there's no redeeming that character.
Who
No, I'm
this?
saying
No,
had they
not-
done him
not
right
now.
in that
Not
movie,
now.
had they done him the way they were supposed to do, you have Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. What are you
Nothing-
doing?
I mean, he was doing a
Nothing.
good job in character when he was the character in character.
Yeah,
Nothing
I was.
pissed-
that's
I
what
was
I
like,
mean.
yeah, this dude is- yeah.
Nothing pissed me off more. Nothing. It's boo this man. You know
Boo
that
this
fucking-
man, like, yo.
boo this man. Boo, because nothing pissed me off more than when he changed character and he talks regular and I'm going, oh, and wait a minute. So that means the guy doesn't exist? Anyways. All right.
Yeah, that was.
All right. So let's talk
Caesar,
about
Caesar, there's only
That was Jonathan Favreau.
Caesar when they
That was pre-Feige.
when
Pedro
they
Pascal, Wonder
piss
Woman,
you off that
very
bad, there's
pissed me
only
off.
one way to get back at them. That's to stop watching the movies and to start reading.
Anyways, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about. So this is a good segue. As a matter of fact, all right. This is a good segue. So I'm gonna add this to the list of topics we're gonna talk about because you guys
Not
are
in
about
theaters,
this.
K Dog. Not in theaters, K Dog.
No,
Yeah. Craven is
Watch
I'm
it, but not in theaters.
I'll
Not in
wait
theaters.
for it. That's
Exactly.
a home watch there. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Hulk, I'm sorry, She-Hulk. So they
Uh-oh.
announced that Wonder Man
Oh, I saw that.
is going to be the style of She-Hulk. It's going to be a comedy,
like a
About-
sitcom.
comedy about this guy having powers and all that shit. Okay.
It's like a
I
Hollywood
think,
star,
I think it's
right?
perfect. I think it's perfect.
For
I'm
that
here for
character.
For
For
Wonder
that
Man, I think
character.
it's
For
perfect
Wonder
for
Man.
Wonder Man.
Because no one gives a shit about Wonder Man. Let's be honest.
I mean, it's Wonder Man though.
Hold on. Pause real quick.
Like you can't
Pete-
take him seriously in a comic.
Pete's comment about Shang-Chi, that sets up a lot of really good shit, Pete. So
Shout out to Peter.
I would
I enjoyed
definitely
it.
hold on that comment.
Yeah.
Definitely
I-
hold on that comment because of all the things that the 10 rings and what comes in with the 10 rings and the different artifacts. I would hold on that. Definitely hold on
I
that.
enjoyed. As a matter of
Are we,
fact,
are we
I enjoyed
are
Shang-Chi.
are we holding on King Bensley being in Shang-Chi and that becoming something bigger?
We gonna
Or
call
just
him Ben
Shang-Chi,
Kingsley. Though.
period?
We gonna call him Ben Kingsley. Though. We're not gonna call him King Bensley. We gonna call
Well, I
him
call
Ben
him
Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley, King Bensley.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
You know what I
was
mean.
Like, he just flipped the man name around.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Wow.
Okay, listen. Shang-Chi, I watched it with the wife. Like I said, she gives two F's about stuff. She enjoyed it. Shang-Chi to me was pretty enjoyable. I thought it was kind of cool. I
don't think anybody objects to that.
Shang.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who. Well, Peter was saying, or who was it? Sam?
It's Peter.
No, Peter saying
It's a
that
bad movie.
Shang-Chi was a bad movie too. I mean, I know.
No, it was bad.
I don't think so. I don't. Okay, so we're on agreement that Wonder Man. You guys are for it. You're okay with it. You're okay for it being what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I don't know
Because
the
it's
guys. So I'm
Wonder Man.
assuming. Okay, so like I said, I don't fucking read. You guys constantly remind me of that. I'm
But
assuming
why do you
Wonder
wear
Man is
glasses
a
then?
big.
Why
I'm
do you wear
assuming
glasses, Caesar, if you don't read?
He's
Wonder
like
Man.
Marvel's Booster Gold.
Oh, he's like okay. So no one takes him serious.
No, he
No.
in half the time he's like messing things up.
Oh,
But he is equivalent to Superman, so to speak.
Powerful
he's just
Right.
a big. He's just a big dum dum. He's just a big. Just okay.
He's not
That makes
stupid, but you know what I mean?
sense.
He
Yeah,
got
yeah.
issues.
He's clumsy. He's all that
He
stuff.
wants
and
to
all that.
sleep with Scarlet Witch, and like he got issues. You know what I mean?
All right.
Like it's got all kind of stuff going on there.
All right, cool. So let's we're gonna move on and let's talk about this because this was I'm gonna say a topic of what last week I guess was all the rage. So PSA, right? They're now entering the world grading comics. You all know I have a strong opinion of this because you would be surprised how many people came to me, hit me up, and said, "Hey, so you collect slabs? Are you going to collect these?" And I'm going to tell you guys what I told them.
I love you, Robert Olive.
I said, my favorite movie is what? You know what? I
Rob's my
like
boy.
Morbius. Not my favorite movie, you son of a bitch, but I do like Morbius. I didn't mind Morbius.
Morbius fell apart really quick. We're not
Yeah,
going
I
to get
didn't
into
mind.
that.
I didn't mind it. Let me tell you why I didn't mind it, because some of the special effects kind of really did.
Fell apart
Rob's
after-
throwing you off.
after-
Caesar,
after
stick
the
to subject.
trailer. I saw that trailer. I was like, yo, Sony finally gonna have a dope movie.
Yeah, right.
And then the whole trailer was like the first first
The
20
first
minutes.
45 minutes was good, and then it took a nosedive.
I get it. I'll die on the sword on that one. But so PSA. So what I'm gonna tell you guys, what I told the people, hit me up. I'm gonna say fuck you. No, I'm not gonna collect. It's bad enough I'm gonna send away my last 5 CBCS books to get graded in CGC because this OCD that I do not have, that this wall is creating for me. You think I'm gonna add a PSA book to this? I'm gonna all the CGC, and all of a sudden a red and white label PSA smack down in the middle.
He said his wall gave him OCD.
I gotta get this one
Yeah,
and this one redone.
there
Gotta
you
get
go.
these two
Both
redone.
CBCS books. So my question is, if not quite, well, I do have a question, but my statement is, if you're new, and you're just starting out collecting slabs, good for you, because you could have a wall of PSAs. Knock yourself out, homeboy. The same way the guy will have a wall full of CBCS, not PGX, but CBCS. I can see that. But someone like me, I'm not. I'm not. I just wouldn't invest, and I don't do cards.
But you're
or
different.
PSA.
You're different, Caesar. Your opinion is you collect because you love the stuff and you collect the books and you collect those keys.
Right.
There's people that collect.
But his opinion is
because they're gonna-
nuanced because he certainly
Yeah.
favors CGC.
Yeah, but there's folks that are collecting to sell. There's folks that are collecting for various topics and various
100%.
reasons.
I'm talking about that as eyes of a collector, right? Someone as
Yeah,
me who collects, who doesn't flip, who doesn't sell. But guys like you and Ish, if he gets them, all you guys who are sellers or flippers or resellers or all that, 100%. If you get a 9.8 PSA, that's a good question.
Yeah, but what is the question though?
What is the question?
Is the question, can they
is
be
it 9.8?
successful? Will they have value? Like, is that the question?
Are they getting in too late?
No, they're getting in at the right time. They're gonna if there's gonna be a new grading company to come in right now, with the market being what the market is, and with people already second guessing what's going on with CGC and with CBCS and whatever, it's a good time.
Well, here's the
Go in
problem.
there and make a name for yourself.
There is a problem inherently, right? Can they be successful? Certainly. 100 companies could come into the game today, and if they operate right, and when I say operate right, there's levels to it, then of course they can be successful. But the problem is, and we don't know enough, but here's where they set themselves up for failure. Using 9.8 as the bar. That is a CGC standard. Period. Yeah. That's a CGC standard. So any company that comes in the door. Say again.
Let's go deeper into that.
We're saying that the CGC standard grading scale at the bottom is 9.8?
No. I'm saying that using 9.8 as the standard is a CGC standard. It's CGC standard. You see what I'm saying? So if you come into the game using CGC standards as your bar, then how successful do you intend to be?
And PSA with their standards, but PSA, their standard is 10. Gem Mint. They're not mint. It's Gem Mint. GM.
Well, here's the thing. They would have to come in operating with a different standard, right? Like it would have to be stricter. It would certainly have to be more rigid. The standard, it could not be CGC's 9.8 standard. It just can't be. It's the reason why CBCS has not surpassed CGC.
2 points where I think that they could make a difference. One is the transparency. They got to be transparent how they grade.
You have to
They go
clearly
through-
define the standards.
clearly defining it. One. Two, if you've seen their card labels suck. They need to come. They need to come to the game with some good labels, because in the comic game, we like our art, we like our labels, and that's one of the reasons that a lot of people stick to CGC, because of those cool labels and those cool tags. That you have a Wolverine label, you have this label, you have a Spider-Man, you have a Venom, you have a Miles label. I got my Ultimate
Nothing
Fallout
looks
4s.
as good as a CGC yellow label.
Correct.
Those things look good.
So that's where they're going to set themselves apart if they're going to really take a piece of the market.
That
And they
looks
can.
like that picture right there looks like a Rite Aid, like a book you would buy in a Rite Aid collector's pack.
Rite Aid.
Like
So
I'm
that's
not
what it
gonna
looks
lie.
like.
I'm not gonna lie. You think this is you? First of all, everyone uses the numbers of the 1s to the 10s. You can't be different by saying, "Hey, this is an A+."
But see, here's where that label hurts, because this is just a capsule. This is the comic capsule, and this looks better than that. And this isn't even graded. This is just a comic capsule for OA that I got.
Right.
That looks like crap compared to this.
Yeah,
If I'm buying, I'd rather buy this than that.
Caesar, you can change the system if you clearly define your parameters and you
Sure.
stick to them. Like if you make it, if you're transparent and it's clearly defined and you stick to those parameters, it could be a 5. It could just be a 5.
Hold on.
Oh,
Ish.
right. So
J-Rod's
graded from
getting
one
bored. I
to
want to
the
hear from
5?
J-Rod. J-Rod needs to talk.
Oh, well, hello. Good evening, everyone. No, but we don't know, number one, if that's actually what their case is going to be for, their grading of books. Number two, when you're entering into an industry or into a market, you got to look at what are the shortcomings in that market. What are the complaints to CGC? The cases aren't always that good. Sometimes I get it. The book's loose. If I can come with a better case, if I can come with better pricing, I can come with more transparency than they do. You now answer all
Turnaround
the
time.
rights.
Turnaround time.
The what?
Turnaround time.
Because
turnaround
CBCS
time
has
too.
better casing, pricing, and turnaround time.
So, but those are vulnerabilities that CGC has. So if you're able to come up with something that solves those issues that the community has, you're going to have people who are like, well, I know CGC might be, or not might, they are right now the standard, but I'm getting better pricing. I'm getting them back quicker. I'm getting a better product. People will matriculate from one to the other. Because at the end of the day, we care about what our money
If PSA
goes.
wants to succeed,
Jay-
3-year marketing campaign with Matt at the helm, I think they could do it.
So here's the thing, Jay. Like Ish is hitting on, there's already a solution to that problem. There's already somebody in the industry that is addressing all of CGC's shortcomings, right? So you'd have to come in and address everybody else's shortcomings. You'd have to offer something that nobody else is offering, right?
That's how you get
That's
the
fine.
I just I don't know what something of that nature to swing the entire industry. Like, I think that a PSA is a good idea for a card collector who is a PSA like aficionado, like that's what he collects specifically, looking to expand and jump into comics. Maybe that's why a lot of card collectors are apprehensive to getting into comics, because they have the same issue me and Caesar have. Like we want a monotonous display, of synergy and harmony, right? I don't want this label and that label and this label all over the place. And I think that the one thing you guys are hitting on that can really, really, really set them apart is if their grading scale is notable, I don't know, but if it's like, oh, PSA is known for grading super accurate and super strict or super this, right? Because now
But it has to be.
It has to be, because now what you do is you introduce an opportunity for everyone to want to get a PSA book, because even if I got a PSA 9.8, I'm like, well, this might be a Gem Mint 10 CGC, right? It's kind of, if the PSA new books are the old school CGC red labels, then I think we got something going for us.
And that's perfect that you said, because if you look at it, here's the immediate problem. The immediate problem is if PSA is cheaper, the reality is anyone who buys tools knows this, right? You pay the money for the tool. You pay the money, you get the good quality tool because you generally get what you pay for, right? So go on.
You just hit it on. You know what no other case offers? UV protection. That's it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob. What you got, Rob?
Really quick, Jay.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, speaking to like the grading standards, right? Because if they're not rigid and they fall short, what they're going to do, and I'm hopeful because I'm a CGC guy, is they're just going to make those books that are graded by CGC, every Hawk 181 that's graded by CGC versus the ones that are graded somewhere else, they're just going to force them to become more premium. Every time you put a Hawk 181 in a PGX case, you lose the CGC value. Whether we like the fact that those prices are correct or not, you lose. So the CGC book gets more value because now it's a book that's not CGC graded. CBCS, same thing. It takes it out of circulation from CGC, thus increasing the value of my CGC book, making it more premium. Everyone's going to want my Hawk 181 in the same grade if you compare it to a CBCS or PGX. They'll take mine.
Okay, hold on. J Rob, let's go first because J Rob had his.
So and
After J Rob.
This goes to Ish's point, and I understand because this is a conversation we had. When you buy a cheap tool, what you're basically going to end up spending probably the same money because you got to keep replacing it because it was a crappy tool. But just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it has to be a crappier product. If you can pull up Billy's comment where he's talking about like that first year, your subscription is $1 or the books are $1 or whatever it is. It's that same marketing mentality for somebody else who comes into, because at the end of the day, it's all about gaining as much market share as possible. That's the strength of your company. The more of the market share that you actually control and that you have, that's how valuable, that's going to increase the value. That's like Tesla. When is the last time we saw a new Tesla? And I talk besides this Cybertruck thing that they've been talking about forever. They don't change what they have because they own the majority of market share when it comes to electric vehicles. But I guarantee in their back pocket, they've got a million other ideas that they've been R&Ding for years. And when other companies start getting close, that's when they'll be forced to start doing things. But like Billy said, if you come out with a good product, you come out with it for cheap, that is a age-old tactic. If you look at, let's just talk about, those corner narcotics or pharmacists. When they come into the market, it's not always about, all right, hey, telling people I got a better product. It's about giving it out for free. Because once I give it out to you, you see the quality of it as well as be hooked.
I just disagree in that I think more people shop I think more people have more affordable sneakers than they do Jordans. But the quality of those sneakers aren't better.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adidas upstairs.
The quality of those sneakers aren't better. You understand what I'm saying? Like it doesn't. And so I see what you're saying, but I think it could go both ways.
I'm not saying it can't go that way. Let me
throw something out about market share that nobody's talking about right now. What is the market standard for pricing graded comics right
now? Well, are we talking just CGC?
If we're looking at what's my Spider Boy worth? What is this worth? Where are we going to look?
Oh, you're saying that it would have to be in the census of.
But where am I looking to what this book is worth? Where am
Either Go Collect or GPA, right?
GPA.
I think both of those are wrong.
There we go.
Both Go Collect and GPA are wrong though. They're always
why?
wrong.
But why?
Because you don't buy on Go Collect and GPA.
No.
So the standard is where you're buying at. What is it going for? Where you actually have to pay for it.
So you're partially right and partially wrong. Why is GPA a standard? Because that's what we're told to go look at. But who owns GPA?
I don't know, but I know all the eBay sales
isn't a standard.
So no. We're looking at GPA. GPA a lot. There's a great amount of people they go to GPA to see what my graded comic is worth. GPA is owned by Heritage Comics.
See, that's interesting because I never go to GPA. Jay will tell you. I'm always like,
A lot
I never look at
of folks,
GPA.
a lot of
I
folks go
live
to
by
GPA.
Yeah.
And let me back something. How many CBCS or PGX books are on GPA?
There's
I don't
none.
think they have any.
They don't.
Zero. It's
They
all
don't.
CGC.
It's all CGC.
All CGC. So it's skewed and it's manipulated. So to Ish's point, that I don't go on GPA, that's the kind of person that we want to see to level it all out, because it is skewed and it's manipulated because GPA or Heritage owns it to push what they're pushing, to push what's on eBay, and they're only pushing through that API. If you know anything about technology, it's an API connected to eBay to gather data only on CGC books.
See, and that stuff certainly influenced how people price things. So for me, though, and the way I price books, the way I sell books, the way I purchase books, for me, it's always about, it's very elementary. It's very drug dealerish. It's very, what do I have to pay right now? If I wanted this book, people always say eBay sold listings. Well, eBay sold listings are just a part of it. What's the cheapest price I can pay right now? I don't care what it sold for yesterday. If I want to buy it right now, if I go to these sites that sell these books, what is the cheapest that I can pay for the book and the grade that I want right now? And I can't find that on the GPA side.
So
right, I can only find that where the books are being sold.
So,
yep,
I don't know if that's true.
Absolutely.
Actually,
I'm
I
talking
think
about for
that
myself.
well, I mean,
it's
I
very
think
subjective. It's very subjective.
I do think that GPA offers live listings, though. It does have live listings of
Not
books that you can go
CBCS.
to that are not for CBCS. I don't think they have anything for CBCS, but
No.
as far as like the CGC part of it, I think there are live listings that are attached directly to eBay that you
I
can
wouldn't know
go
that 'cause
from
I just don't
GPA.
go
But it's only
Super.
like five or six points.
I mean, I
So-
think it's just how many live listings it captures in the API.
Correct.
And was it doing an
And-
aggregate
and-
or an
and-
average?
It's an average, and it shows those, and it puts it up in 90-day and the 12-month. But how many sales do we see on Facebook Marketplace or Facebook groups?
Because those are what people are really paying for.
So
And
here's
those
my
are better
selfish plug.
values,
Here's
by the
my
way.
selfish
but-
plug to selfish plug. So stay tuned to what I'm doing in the next 12 months, because I'm creating a website and I'm creating a data source where I'm grabbing everything from Facebook, from eBay, from whatnot, from all these places, and I'm putting together, I don't care if it's CBCS, I don't care if it's CGC, I don't care if it's PGX, and we're going to average what we're doing in sales.
It would be interesting to see what numbers you come up compared to the standard of a GPA.
I'm putting all that together right now as we speak. Selfish
I
plug to
like
what
to
I'm doing. So
subscribe.
stay tuned.
Like to subscribe to your newsletter, Efren. But I will say that GPA PSA has, they've said in writing that they have listened to the community. They are listening to the community and what they want. And it's the first thing the community is saying is, you better not go all those fucking labels, because they're hideous.
yeah.
The wording is this small. It's white and red. It's god awful. But so we're going to end it here with this question. So what's going to happen? I think we either kind of touched on this. So what's worth more, the CGC 9.8 or PSA 9.8?
Well, I think it depends on the grading scale, right? I don't know. I know that PSAs exist. I know that PSAs and cards like a 9, a 10, and 8, they have associated values to them, but I don't know how that's received by the community as a standard for cards. I think, from the outside looking in, I believe it is the standard for card grading, right? I believe it's a CGC equivalent, and that people find them to be pretty reputable. I don't know that for sure, but I would imagine if that's the case, that's what translates over into grading comic books. But then you have to take into consideration their experience in doing it, their experience in handling it. There's just so many other factors that comes into play with this.
What's going to
me,
happen?
the standard is always going to be what someone's willing to pay for it. Like if a 9.8 Action Comics #1 appeared and it was graded by CBCS, It's going to be the most valuable Action Comics #1, CGC or otherwise.
Yeah, but I think that what you're willing to pay is based on the company, right? Like people stray away from. I'm sorry, Caesar. People stray away from PGX because of they don't have a lot of faith in their grading scale and consistency, right? I think that the reason why people are so supportive of CGC, not to, I'm not riding them or anything like that, but I mean, like, they have such a large majority of the market share. There is a standard that exists that you can use if you resell or if you flip or if you're trying to get a book at the closest FMV value, right? You can't say that for any of these other companies, right? Everything else then comes into a question. The label comes into question. The case quality comes into question. You know what I mean? The handling of it. I mean, you wouldn't send your book to somebody. Say it again.
The grading standards come into question.
Yeah, 100%. Right? Their experience with knowing and having dealt with comics, right? I think that, listen, anytime you get more competition, it's great for the market. Right? It's great for the industry. I think the best thing that any company that comes into the market can do is get more publicity of people being more, approaching those brands, right? Like if Caesar's Wall was all PSA, right? It shows other people that, hey, I can go all PSA too, right? But make that transition easy. Like take my 9/8 and for the same price that it would cost for like a reslab at CGC, right? Cut that price, and maybe PSA has it so where they can afford these losses because they have the card side of things, and say, hey, we'll reslab you at this much of a markdown versus how other companies will reslab you.
But the flip side of that is how much do they want to do it? Because like CVCS, it's Beckett. They have a huge point in the market in the comic they got the card market. So if I already have a big chunk of this market, how quick do I want to focus or move to try to get a bite out of this market? What is it worth to me? What do I have to do to get that market slice? So
well, it's worth enough for them to even make an attempt, right? So if it's worth enough for them to even make an attempt to the market, then I think
it's worth enough when you and I are talking. But is their marketing person one of us? When they're bringing in their comic experts, do they have a Matthew looking at them and saying, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this to get our piece of the market share? Because if they don't, they're going to get a small piece and it's going to be profit and it's just extra money. So they're going to be okay with that.
Well, I think that's kind of business 101, right?
Yeah,
right? Businesses have to know better than to do that, right? Like Whatnot did the exact same thing. They walked into a market and they said, hey, let me get some experts in this collectible field and use them as resources to say what right looks like for dealing with this community or this
That's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation.
You know what's going to happen? You're going to get a 9.8 PSA, and someone's going to say,
"I'm refilling. I'll be right back."
And someone's going to say how much you want for it. Someone's going to say how much you want for it, and someone's going to say, "Hold on." They're going to go to GPA to see how much a 9.8 is going for. They're going to say that's the price.
So they're going to be able to value themselves at their first 10.
Exactly, because
what's going to happen? Which means, do they rush to get one? Or do they hold themselves to such a high standard that we don't see one right away? Because that temptation is there, because that's when they're going to know where they stand in the market. When their penultimate grade drops.
Well, Ish, do we as a collective, just us in here? That is hilarious. But do we as a collective here have any experience in the card game to be able to say what this company is actually known for? What this, as far as like, what reputation do they have when it comes to quality control, when it comes to handling, pricing?
I've seen their standards, to be honest, not just in cards, but in toys, right?
Also, yeah.
And even some video games. And every other metric outside of the comic metric, they are supreme. Right. They are setting, like, you don't want a toy that's not graded by PSA. If you're getting toys graded, you don't want a video game that isn't graded by PSA. If it's graded by somewhere else, CGC isn't doing well in grading all this other stuff because
But
PSA.
why is
Not at
that?
all.
Why is that? Is it the reliability? Is it the customer service? Is
Oh,
it, you know, the value associated with it because of how accurate it is? What are those factors?
I think the biggest factor, I think all of those are factors, but I think the biggest factor is that they're the first. That they were just
So,
doing
I
it
mean, yeah, okay.
on
So,
that. So I think that's the biggest factor. But I think everything else,
of that, right?
right.
So they have that to lean into, but you know, it's that them being first in a market where they're not first is irrelevant.
Well, you
Right?
look at CGC, right? CGC is in all of those markets and certainly nowhere near as relevant as PSA in those markets. Like they're doing cards now and they're doing
Yeah,
coins
CGC
and
is,
they're
and
doing
it's
all
just
these
not
things.
as no one's. You know why? Because when it comes to cards and stuff like that, PSA
PSA.
is the way to go. PSA is the way to go. Comic books, so that CGC is the way to go.
Yeah.
Why? Because CGC came first, and why? Because cards, PSA probably came first. I'm not a big fan, but I do keep hearing that PSA's customer service is pretty top notch,
And this is
and
the
that
thing.
will be another thing too.
As collectors, we are finicky. We are set in our ways.
It's
We
true.
just are. And we are all collectors and we know we've seen it. We all have this level of OCD. We're really finicky. We got to have the mint book or we got to have it this way. It's got to be that way. It's got to be like, we're going to go look for the run of something dumb, right? That no one else is looking for just because our favorite character or our favorite artist or, you know what I mean? Like it was the year he was in college when he wrote this. And I want all of the ones when he was in college because I went to the same college or whatever the case may be. We're just really finicky like that. And we find something and we stick to it. And we are going to keep CGC on top. There's going to be no outliers. There are going to be outliers. There are going to be people who are looking for something new. But the reality is collectors. CGC got us. They they told us that they're the grading standard. We believe it. And nothing is going to topple it. No, I don't care if you have diamond cases that have holograms. CGC has got us.
It's just you know what? After all this, time will tell. What's up, Jimmy?
I don't know about you all, but if they're giving out genuine diamond casing, I will be the one with PS. I'm just saying.
J-Rob saying, wait a minute. Don't speak for me.
Genuine diamond or faux diamond?
No, genuine, bro. Genuine.
You're a moron.
This is a good topic.
I tell you what, J-Rob, you're
one
becoming one of my favorite people because you talk about jaundice and diamonds. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. So I was going to show the trailer for Joker and Agatha Harkness, but now Dell, I was just talking to Dell privately, and we're kind of skittish about it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Last time we showed a trailer, we weren't supposed to show it, kind of a thing, and the show got not banned, but it got removed from
on YouTube.
Was it a copyright strike or something?
Yeah, from all the Facebook groups and all that stuff. So I don't want to do it, but for those who haven't seen it, the new Joker official Joker trailer dropped sometime 11 hours ago or something like that. I sat down and saw it. When you have a chance, go see it.
Has everybody seen it? Everybody on the panel seen it?
No,
I think I was in the gym.
I posted it in Comic Sans, so
I was in the gym.
Go check it out.
Is it as much of a musical as they're saying it's going to be?
If you didn't know it was a musical, you wouldn't know it's a musical.
I hate musicals.
I love musicals.
If I'm going to watch a musical in a theater, like a play, great. But if I'm going to watch it in a movie setting, no.
They say it's a musical.
What's the Hugh Jackman movie that I hated because it was
right? I never saw that. The Showman. Yeah.
Apparently it was phenomenal. But
Greatest Showman was phenomenal. It was awesome.
So from what I'm understanding,
in a play, I'll watch it.
From what I understand, the songs they're singing or being sung or danced to are all songs that are already known to us. It's an original score. It's not original stuff. It's all songs that we already know about. If you saw the trailer, you wouldn't think it's a musical. It's Lady Gaga as Harley and him in prison and him getting. You can tell he's getting popularity because of this
They
rebel.
don't spoil the trailer, bro.
But go
doing?
watch the
He
trailer.
said, "Don't
Go
spoil
watch
the
the trailer.
trailer.
I'm gonna give you a
Don't
point
spoil the
blank breakdown."
trailer." Like, yo, this is. I told you we're finicky. Don't
Right.
spoil the
We
trailer.
need
bro.
trailers. We need trailers to show the trailer. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you without seeing the trailer. Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, I think is A+.
It's
I'm
dope.
okay. I'm okay
I think
with
she is the
it.
right kind of crazy to be a Harley Quinn.
I'm okay with it.
Because she is.
But this is
Once again,
Elseworlds, though. She might be like Dr. Quinn. Because this
If
is an
there's like
Elseworlds tale.
if I go to that movie and I'm 30 minutes in and I hear like 6 songs, I'm walking out.
I'm gonna tell you, Efren. I'm gonna give you a tip. You probably already know about it, but go
They sang
read
one song in the Marvels.
go read the DC Black Label book called Harleen.
oh, I
Is it
read
gonna
that.
sing to me? Because I walk out.
Fine. I don't have it, but it's no, they don't sing. It's called Harleen. It's a DC Black Label book, and it's Harley Quinn as a psychiatrist, actually in her role, because you know she's a psychiatrist.
Right.
It's her actually in her role. It's brilliant. It's phenomenal.
So
should read it
so
there.
Phenomenal.
I want to throw this aspect into the conversation without ruining number 2. So we're spoilers, fair enough, right? For the first Joker.
Pretty much.
That ending was like, what the fuck? What I watched, was it real or was it fake?
It was great.
And then when you think about that, and you think about the entire Batman series and how that could have, I mean, it doesn't really have an effect into what we've seen previously or whatever. But when you think about that perspective and Arkham Asylum being that centerpiece and the whole thing being just fucking insanity, that is phenomenal.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first Joker. I'm
Yeah.
one of those people.
So I
seen it.
I thought it was just
You
phenomenally
haven't seen
written,
it, Rob.
phenomenally done. So
When did
watch
I
it.
get to it?
So I'm gonna tell you, I personally didn't like it because it's not my type of movie.
Mhm.
But the writing, the acting, the way that it was delivered,
That
A+,
performance.
A+. And I did not enjoy the movie because of all that. But just taking a step back and just the whole
Being
Arkham,
real, keeping it real.
wow.
Listen, it's
Like,
like modern day Dog Day Afternoon.
Wow.
You still talking about Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joker's like the modern era Dog Day Afternoon. I don't
Joaquin
know if
Phoenix
y'all
is no
remember-
joke.
I don't know if y'all remember Dog Day Afternoon. It's probably besides Caesar
Mhm.
and maybe J. Rob, Dustin.
That's
not
as
Dustin
live
Hoffman,
action as you can get.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. Like
Yeah.
it's falling down, right? It's Michael Douglas and falling down. It's like
I'd like a cup of coffee.
it's
Strong.
great. It's really strong, right? Strong, like really good material, really good film. And I think I have high hopes for the sequel. I think if it's the same creative team that did the first one, they're not going to let us down. They're not just going to.
I did not, Dell. I did not.
The other trailer that dropped a couple weeks ago, or might be a little premature, is the Agatha Harkness. It was Agatha all along. I am looking forward to that. One, I like Christine Hahn, I think is her name. I could be wrong with that.
Catherine
Love her,
Hahn?
Catherine Hahn. I love her as an actress.
I
It is
got one
Catherine
name right.
Hahn.
Oh,
It is, yeah, Kingsley Benzie. I do like her. I like the fact that they're kind of doing the horror, sort of the witchy horror stuff. I love that. And are we going to see finally Mephisto? Is he finally going to show up in the MCU?
He's gonna be in Deadpool.
She's
Mephisto
so
confirmed.
irritating to look at.
What gave you any inclination that we were going to get? There were legit teases
We're
that
not getting
would have
Mephisto.
led to Mephisto in WandaVision. What from Agatha all
Yeah.
along gave you that? Are you just
Any demon, any demon.
Caesar reads comics.
Yeah,
I know
would
what
say I see
Mephisto.
no Mephisto.
I know what Mephisto looks like, Mofo. I saw him in the trailer.
I see no need for Mephisto. First of all,
He's coming.
Secondly, I didn't see anything that led to. I didn't see the Mephisto stuff in Wanda though.
Neither did I. Well,
Oh, that's
exactly
definitely
because yeah.
I saw his son. I saw the stuff, alluding to his son. And certainly Wanda. If anybody is going to have something Mephisto-esque in it, it would be a Wanda property, right? But Agatha, I don't see it.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Because if you recall, her original kids were pieces of Mephisto.
Yes.
Which, so that would make sense. But, I don't see why it would be an Agatha.
I'm gonna break character here, man. Like this isn't really my MO, but Agatha might be the first MCU property that I can give two shits about. Like I didn't ask for this. You know what I mean? Like, she did a great job in WandaVision, but I mean, like, really not great enough for me to watch a whole like you don't even have does she even have her own comic?
I don't like her as a villain at all. I don't like this. Suddenly Agatha Harkness is a villain.
She's felt like more of an anti-hero.
I don't know what it is she is. It ain't what she is in the comics.
Whatever it is, I'm gonna fucking watch it. How's that?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good. It's kind of cool, something different. All right, let's move on because we're just like that. Time starts fucking slow on. So we're just gonna touch on a few things. How about Marvel announced that they have recasted Kang? So Jonathan Majors is out. It's a shame because I like that dude. I do. He's a great actor. So
he fucked up though, but he's stupid.
So this is the question I'm going to ask you guys in a very quick roundtable session. They have not announced who it is. They just announced that they casted the guy. I'm going to start with you, J. Rob. Who would you cast as the next Kang?
Man, that's
I want you guys all to think about this.
A good question. I would have said, what's the actor, the guy who played Mordo? He's very versatile, but he's already got a character.
Yeah,
doesn't matter though. We got the MCU. We got timelines. Doesn't matter. He had a very prominent role. I wouldn't want to see that. I don't really. Once you got a character, I don't believe you need to be. Wait till you hear my answer.
Man, I have no clue. Man, I had to think about that, man. I don't know.
If you say Wesley Snipes, I'm going to slap you across his fucking
negative. But
All
whoever it is needs
Jonathan
to
Taylor Thomas.
Though. I'll tell you that. So they're immune to Green Lantern. But
man, you're a fool. Ish, what are you thinking? Because I know you're thinking hard.
I like Jeremy Irons. I like Michael Keaton.
You're a motherfucker. I'm just gonna.
I really like Jeremy Irons as Kane though.
Okay. Matt, who are because I'm talking only serious people. Matt, how about you?
Jeremy, why can't Jeremy Irons be Kang?
Why would Jeremy Irons be playing Kang?
Why not?
Because Jeremy Irons, he's already the butler for fucking Batman.
I'd like Jeremy Irons as Kane. I think he fits Kane. He looks like Kane.
So that's a good point. Hold on here. Now hold on. That's a good point. Does Kang have to be black?
No.
I mean, he's white in the comics. He doesn't have to be a black guy.
Is he white? Is he purple?
Except when he's Ramatut.
He's white.
I mean, if he's Ramatut, he's Egyptian, right?
Yeah, but he's not Egyptian.
Is he Nathaniel Richards? What are you saying?
So I talked to my kids about this. When we're talking about characters,
I don't care what color he is, but I like him as Jeremy Irons. You know what I mean?
But when we're talking about color and characters, there's certain times that it matters. Magneto can't be black.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
He's a Holocaust survivor. He cannot be black.
This part written into his character.
Work.
Correct.
But there's other characters that who fucking cares? So leave it at that. Continue. I just had to say that.
I you know what? Until right now, this actual conversation, I just was thinking, James Major's black. You're right.
Oh, did you think I wasn't serious because I chose a white guy?
Yo, absolutely. It didn't dawn on me. I thought you were fucking around.
No.
It didn't dawn on me. I'm like, wait a minute. You're right. Kang wasn't. You're right. He's right. So they could technically pick any guy. We're thinking Jonathan Majors, Kang. What other black character going to go with? You're right. They could fucking pick anyone.
I mean, Nick Fury was white.
There we go.
He's also black.
He's black too.
He
Yeah.
is. He is. But who
His
cares?
son.
Doesn't
But that's-
matter.
That would be his son, though.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
All right, so
Yeah.
what were you? Okay, Jason, you got one now. You can be serious.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh,
He's
that is
retired.
great. That is great.
Matt-
though. That
Dude,
is
not
really
really?
good.
Yeah, he
that is
retired.
really good. Though.
Oh,
Good. I like that.
Unfortunately, he did retire. He retired.
Matt's rolling his eyes at us. He's
I'm rolling my eyes
it gotta be
at
Eddie Murphy.
everything.
You gotta be Eddie Murphy. He's
I'm
like,
rolling
it
my
gotta be
eyes at
Eddie
everything.
Murphy.
It needs to be Charlie
If-
Murphy.
If they
Matt
bring
wants-
back,
Rest in
if
peace.
they brought back James Gunn after his whole little Me Too, like I'm a cancel culture, him, blah blah blah. If they brought back James Gunn, they absolutely should be bringing back Jonathan Majors. No other. I don't want to see another Jonathan Majors. Either give me. I don't want to see another Kang cast. I don't care that they have somebody lined up. I think that what needs to happen is that they need to do right by Jonathan
But
Majors.
you know the reason that he's not is because it's Disney.
Well, yeah, you could say the same thing about James Gunn.
I like
Right?
that. I like this line of
But
discussion. I don't
James
know what
Gunn
did.
was a tweet from like 30 years ago.
Okay,
And they-
Jonathan Majors, you can debate it, but it's not like he was convicted of the assault allegations that were pressed against him. You know what I'm saying? Like when you
Tell you
get to the
what,
nitty gritty of what happened, you know what I mean? Like everyone. That's why everyone is saying, "Yo, just give me back him. He's not the shitball, sleazeball that the entire community tried to spell him out as during that entire trial." So yeah, no, I think that it should be Jonathan Majors, and I think that the fandom would welcome a Jonathan Majors back and be very happy to see that. I think recasting him is some ho shit.
Okay,
be
but
funny
if
if
you
you-
do recast him, who would you pick?
Hashtag not my Kang.
That's who you would pick.
You know what? They're gonna bring
No.
back Jonathan. They're gonna bring back Jonathan
No.
Majors in whiteface, and go. It's some other name, but it's Jonathan Majors. Like
So listen to this.
Jonathan Minor.
Kang's a time traveler, right?
Jonathan Minor.
So
Wow.
Ish will follow me on this. Time traveler, Kang, different variants, different possibilities, right? Michael B. Jordan.
I hate Michael G. Jordan as an actor. I think he's the worst actor in the hit. I think he's right up there with Nicolas Cage.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
have
yeah.
him. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
if you noticed, but we have him on the panel. There he is. It's Killmonger right there with his hair.
Oh,
So,
that's
you
what we
know.
doing. That's what we doing.
Wow.
I met him and
There's
I've been
Thomas,
drunk
man.
with him before, so I have some kind of feeling about him.
I just don't enjoy him. I like him, I like what he does for the community, and I liked him in The Wire, and I don't enjoy him as an actor though.
I don't mind the dude. I mean,
It's all the panel.
it's kind of funny. It's kind of
Crickets.
funny. People wanted the dude who's actually playing Wonder Man. That was gonna be a good replacement.
Yeah, they did.
I might have allowed that.
Henry Cavill.
Oh, now
That's that kind of
Yeah.
kind of.
I might have been okay. All right, fine.
they
I mean,
tossed his name in the
obviously-
hat for Black Panther too, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
What about John David Washington?
That's
Denzel son.
Denzel.
it's Denzel's son, right?
I mean,
He's
I
a
don't
good
think he
dude.
can talk very well, but I don't. Some of his heavy hitting roles, I'd be like, yo, man, why? Like when he did Tenet and he had to have a real long conversation, I was like, yo,
Who,
you know,
how does he talk?
it's just not believable. When he
Oh.
broke into the guy's house and he's talking to the woman who he thought was the arms dealer, but it was actually her husband, but it was actually the wife, and he's having the
Oh.
conversation. I didn't
Spoiler
believe
alert.
it. Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't believe it. But I do like him. I do enjoy some of his stuff.
That movie's
All right.
ruined for me.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the because this will be a very short conversation. Let's talk about The Acolyte,
Brilliant.
a show that I think 4 people here did not watch.
I love it.
Did you guys really not watch it?
I watched
No, I
it.
didn't watch.
I watched
Oh,
it.
you watched it, J-Rob?
Of course.
You watched
I
it
watched
too?
it too.
Oh, I thought you were anti-Star Wars stuff.
No,
Listen.
negative.
Listen.
That's part of my childhood, man.
I take it back. 3 out of the 2 out of the 3 out of the 5 did not see it. So that's cool. Okay, apparently you all liked it.
I liked it.
I did too.
I did
I'm
it. It started rocky. It definitely started rocky.
It did. It did.
It had a little charm as it went on, and I think it stuck its landing. And the ending for me is what did it. You know what I mean? I'm like, they really went from a total. I don't want to spoil it, but like
It was
what
great.
they were able to achieve in the end. I've never seen that done as effectively as was done before.
Okay, so
I was like, wow. Okay,
so my question is,
always heard about and I don't care about y'all. This show is over. If y'all are on a comic show where we talking about comic stuff, we ain't talking about a movie that ain't come out yet. I'm talking. If y'all ain't seen it, sorry. Listen,
2 weeks, right?
They did what we have heard about and seen, but never seen play out throughout the history of Star Wars. We seen somebody on the light go to the dark. We saw, and
it was believable.
To see the full transition of
So
someone
it
who
was-
started off on the light.
wait. So why so much hate? Why so much? I haven't seen it.
Embrace the dark.
Why so much hate?
I think that, one of the things it's kind of like creating a narrative in Star Wars that is new, explored frontier. The idea that the Force isn't exclusive to, one idea of people's, which I don't think if you look at Clone Wars,
it's not
that it ever was. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the problem. I'm gonna tell you what the hate is, and I'm gonna tell you because you've read this, and I'm gonna tell you as someone who I'm a strong proponent of High Republic. I sell a lot of High Republic material. J Rob will tell you this is so we're big on High Republic, right? So a lot of people who don't know High Republic who watch this show came, oh, this isn't canon. Oh, they're breaking canon. It's canon, and you don't. So what? High Republic is the oldest era of Star Wars, Caesar. And the reason why they created this era and it's fleshed out is so that people can write and create stories in the Star Wars universe without being stuck to the Skywalker family.
Story.
So they have this. So in this era, which predates Yoda is in this era, it predates all the other eras. We have an era, but where the Jedi. This is before the Jedi became the Catholic Church of the Star Wars universe. Before they squashed all the other religions, so to speak, that use the Force. Before the Jedi became sanctioned, the Jedi became sanctioned by the Empire and forced out. There was tons of different cults that use the Force. The Open Hand. There's a ton of different cults. What we're getting, this show takes place at the end of the High Republic era, so we're getting what is known as the first Sith. This guy, there wasn't a Sith. Jedi had other enemies at the time. They were called the Nihil, and they ate the Force. They actually caused the Jedi to freeze up. While they fed on the Force within the Jedi, they were called the Nihil, and this was the enemy of the Jedi. The Jedi never had someone that had willingly went to the dark side. That was a Jedi, not other users, but a Jedi that willingly went to the dark side, embraced emotion. This guy, the Sith, he's the first Sith, and if you recall in the movies,
how many episodes is it?
6.
If you recall the movies, right, with Anakin. They couldn't detect Sith. They didn't know that Palpatine was a Sith. Senator Palpatine. They at that time, Yoda couldn't even detect that there was a Sith because the Jedi didn't have that skill at the time.
But what you're saying is that the Sith had existed to this point, that they were already a pre-existing thing before
they had already existed
to that point.
Before we get to Senator Palpatine. Because what happened was, and we're starting to see the seeds of it, what happened with the Sith was they broke away from the Jedi, not because they were evil, but because they wanted to be able to do things like love people and experience these emotions. So they broke away, and eventually they evolved into what they would become, the power of two and all of that. Anyway,
but one of the big things that set the Sith apart was the Sith wanted to the point of love, they wanted to be able to retain love. And they wanted godlike powers, so when they lose love, to be able to bring that love back. So I haven't seen the
Anakin wanted to.
Okay, I'll tell you what. So you guys have convinced me because I'm
gonna binge
you got to really commit to it though, Caesar. Honestly, the beginning of it is kind of shaky. It's kind of like, what is this? It's
only 30 minutes anyways, right?
Isn't it? No, it's like
it is
42.
Okay,
42.
I'll watch it.
They're quick episodes.
You don't have to read, Caesar. You don't got to read anything.
You know
There's
what? Speaking of, I like how Dale said, "Oh, if Caesar would have read, he would have known fool, you didn't know either, mother.
Yo, he still causes
Yo,
trouble
they'll
from the
be-
chat.
They'll be
Yeah,
jumping
yeah.
ship on you real quick,
Dale,
bro.
Dale sits there
I
like he's reading he has all these Star Wars books around him, you know. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey,
So
let me
whenever
just
you
say
hear
this
people
real
say
quick
it's
about the
not
Acolyte.
canon, you can kind of dismiss them because it's because they're used to the current era, and this is
They're
older
casuals.
than that. Right. This is much
They're
older than
casuals.
that.
You know, we have the same casuals and that, you know, follow the MCU fandom and don't know what they're talking about. So when they see stuff like She-Hulk, they're like, what is this mess? And, you know, you don't have to be a diehard Marvel fan to know who She-Hulk is and what she's about. But damn, you got to be a fan. You know what I'm saying? You,
So
you can't
here's a
just
fair
like walk
question.
in and expect to know and be familiar with the idea of what a She-Hulk is. But
Fair
to go
question.
back to the Acolyte, yo,
Fair question with Star
can we
Wars.
talk about the choreography, the fight choreography
It was
in
good.
the Acolyte? And I stand by this.
It was
Was
very
some
good.
of the best fight choreography and the best lightsaber fights I have seen in Star Wars. And I no gas. I was like, wow. The same guy who did it is, I can't remember his name, but he goes by Riven on YouTube, and he did Shang-Chi. He did a bunch of other stuff, right?
I thought it was old boy from Enter the Fat Dragon because that's how good the fight choreography was. Like
Maybe-
really good.
oh,
No, it's not.
maybe-
I just
It was better than the Ahsoka crap that we saw. Because I was very upset with
the fight choreography is really brilliant. The
Ahsoka
setting,
was
the
supposed to
sets
be.
were
Ahsoka was like the prime of the lightsabing wielding people, and she fell apart. Like
It-
I'm
it
sorry,
was
Rosario
not-
Dawson. I love her.
I don't think
but
there was a huge
she-
emphasis on the fight choreography in Ahsoka. I think there was a lot of fan service and trying to bring people in and give them what they want with this one, because I think the story was so polar, right? It's so opposite of what we've been getting with Star Wars being attached to the Skywalker. To Ish's point, I
Somebody
think that
tell Del to shut up because he hasn't watched the show.
I think that that's the reason why they had to make sure that there was something to keep people, right? You had to, you know what I mean? Like if you didn't like the story, you couldn't deny that the fight choreography was awesome.
everyone
You know what I
who hated the story, the first time they had a good fight, they was like, "Yo, that episode was dope." Everyone,
Okay.
who
You're
was
right.
talking crap
You're
about
absolutely
it.
right.
The episode
You're right.
4, I believe, when they had that fight, they was like, "Yo, that was dope."
And yo,
everything
let's-
went out the
let's-
window.
Let's keep
And
it a
the
buck.
sets
The first episode has an epic fight in it. You know what I mean? I'm like watching this and I'm like, yo, am I
At the
watching The
beginning.
Matrix or am I watching Star Wars?
Yeah, you're right.
What is going on? No, Carrie Ann
watching
Moss
now.
is going for it.
Okay, all right. So
But the sets were horrible.
I'm in.
It didn't look like I thought
Well,
that.
they
set
probably
when they
used
first
that,
went to
like,
the
dome
woods-
So I
thing.
gotta throw one thing out. So moving on from Acolyte, because Caesar and I are in, and we haven't watched it. Who has watched Sweet Tooth?
Well, I finished Sweet Tooth. Yeah, that was
I saw
good.
the first
amazing was
2
that?
seasons.
I haven't finished
well,
season
that's-
three.
How amazing was that?
Sweet
It-
Tooth was very.
It's got its
enjoyable.
ups and downs, but it's good.
I was okay with it ending the way it ended. I'm okay with them not doing another season. It's good.
Well, I haven't
It
seen
should
season
be.
3 yet.
Season 3 is
Mhm.
we'll button it all up. All right, you're pretty good on that. But it was good. You're absolutely right. Did nothing for the book, by the way. The book is still
No.
I'm wondering why
The,
no
the
one
books that
talks
you
about-
read? The
I
books
read
you
them
read?
all. Hey, Rob, every single one of them I read.
You know, it's
That's why I
interesting.
was like, hold on. He almost said did nothing for the book. Like, hold on.
Why is no one watching or talking about Invincible season 2 at all?
Value, full value.
I haven't seen it.
haven't seen the boys yet.
Invincible was okay.
Season 2?
Mhm.
Is it finished?
No, I think there's still another section of it. You know, they like did, and there's
Yes,
a break.
Dell hit
Yeah.
the nail on the head with that one.
Supercell.
That thing is phenomenal. It's
No,
awesome.
Sandman. Okay, all right. I did finish The Boys. We're gonna be off topic here. I did finish The
The
Boys.
Boys.
That was The Boys.
Oh, The
BOYS.
Like The Voice?
The Boys
Talking about
was
singing shows.
Supercell is the
great.
best one out right now.
Supercell.
Is it really?
The creators of
Is it
Power.
It's
really?
great. It's so
I'm
good.
like, yo, they did British superpowers before. And what am I getting with this that I haven't gotten in?
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I intend to because you're the second person
You
that
gotta
basically put it
watch
on his back and was like, yo, this is the one.
It's
You
the
gotta
one.
watch it.
what's Supercell on? Prime?
Netflix.
Netflix. What is it about? Is that the one with the heroes that are?
They're
Asian
not heroes.
No.
They ain't heroes. They just people with powers. They
Oh, okay.
not heroes.
Okay, I'm
They
glad
ain't
you said
villain.
that because Heroes was done. Heroes is the one where they had no, was it Heroes? No,
No,
it was
these is
something else.
regular people with real lives and real
What was
struggles
the-
and real
what was
problems
the-
that got
but what-
powers.
But what was the British superpower show that existed? It wasn't Heroes. It was something else.
British?
Misfits.
No,
Oh,
You remember Misfits?
that was terrible.
You didn't like Misfits? I thought Misfits was fine.
Oh, see,
No,
now
these
I'm
are-
contemplating.
these
Now
I
I'm
enjoyed
contemplating.
Matt, you have
Hold on,
lost so
hold the
much.
phone.
T. Rob says, "Hold the floor."
Hold the
You gotta,
phone.
you gotta learn to
Bro.
put people on the bottom.
Now I'm
Misfits
contemplating
was-
watching Acolyte because fucker, this guy says he loved it and Misfits.
I didn't love
We'll
Misfits,
watch it
but
again.
I watched Misfits and I was happy with it when it
You
was
use
out.
the word.
It
You
was
use the word
it was a
great.
different
You use
take.
the word great. You use the word great.
You can't back him
And
up.
Okay,
I'm-
well,
I'm-
fine.
I'm
It's
feeling
fine.
like
It's
either you
close
should
to great.
exercise
Even
the
though
right
I
to
watched
put
the whole
people on the
thing.
bottom.
I watched
You're
the
right.
whole thing just because when I start stuff, I like to finish it, and I finish most things. But Misfits was not quality, bro.
And
I don't think I finished Misfits actually.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. I
this
believe I see.
fool.
And
Everything
I
was
don't
great.
think I finished it. I mean, because
It
it
was
had like
great.
more than one season, right? Was it like
yeah,
3 or 4 seasons?
It was probably, I think it's probably like 4 seasons or something. And
Yeah,
probably
I think I
3
got
seasons
through
too long.
season 2.
I love. It's great. You know, but I didn't finish the.
For what I
didn't
experienced,
finish-
I didn't have. Listen, I thought I feel like I had more complaints watching Heroes than I did when I was watching Misfits.
Because
Well,
Heroes
I
had-
don't
Heroes
think you had
five
a
good
high
episodes.
expectation for Misfits when you saw the quality of what they were putting out. Heroes started out that first season. Everybody who watched Heroes was all in.
And then
You know,
season
tell
2
me
came
anybody
out.
who was not in on Heroes. Now, then
Mhm.
after that, you were like, "What in the heck is this doggone dumpster fire?"
It was like
Now
Lost,
we know
right?
it was part
Lost
of
was
the
dope,
writers'
and
strike,
then it
and this
wasn't.
and that. But and then also something that y'all did not cover when you're talking about the Acolyte. Nobody, you know, like Ish did cover, like we're seeing things that they've hinted towards, and but the fact that May and Osha were born where because of the virgins there and from the Force. Who else is that rumored about? Anakin.
See, I thought I saw something on social media that specifically said, "Hey, they explored that, and that was supposed to be the thing. Like that's the Jedi's like suspicion, but that it wasn't actually that the director had come out and confirmed that it wasn't actually a virgins, not in the way that we think of Anakin Skywalker."
I just want to say that Dell, you are absolutely wrong, and you should put yourself in timeout.
Which one? Because we need a better.
I mean,
tank
it's
girl?
obvious why Dell's
Tank
not
Girl
on the show
was
tonight.
great.
Very obvious why Dell's not.
Tank Girl was a great movie. I don't think we need a better Tank Girl. I thought she was perfectly cast as well.
Hey, question. Caesar, did we go through the agenda already?
No, because you mofos will shut up about Jedi.
Close.
Man, okay, here we go.
We're off
Next one.
topic.
Next one, we're gonna move. I don't want a conversation. I just want a yes and a no from the panel because if not, we're gonna be fucking talking till 1 o'clock in the morning. Brave New World. Jay, you in or out?
In.
Ish.
And
Matt.
All the way in.
Efren. Okay, good. All right. So I know that this guy, Killmonger, wanted to talk about the X-Men Run Talk, the new X-Men Run Talk. This is where I sit back and I just watch the nerds
the X-Men.
talk.
Who?
Yeah, I'm not familiar here.
I don't know what he's saying specifically,
X-Men,
but
but-
Did I say it
X-Men
wrong? Go ahead, Matt.
well, the only thing I wanted to bring up, it's in the last couple weeks or so, they've been releasing the all new X-Men run after the Krakoan era. And
okay.
I figured that's new, right? I don't see a lot of talk about it. I'd love to know, as comic enthusiasts on this panel, I'd love to know what you guys think about it. I have my opinions, but I'll reserve those to the end. I just want to know if anybody's had a chance to, enjoy any of the books or, take a look at them, or what do you think?
So there's only 2 books out right now. The X-Men proper and Nyx.
No, that's not true. Phoenix is out.
Okay, Phoenix, yeah. But Phoenix isn't an X-Men book anymore.
And it's NYX. And NYX, I think, it's a play on New York
X-Men.
Right,
It's New York X-Men, yeah. So that's out. That's out tomorrow. I read it last week. I read the X-Men one, and I read Phoenix. So
Okay.
I like Phoenix being removed from Earth completely.
Hey, whoa, wait, stop. I'm just talking about X-Men.
I thought you said that the after X-Men. So you just the X-Men book, period.
Yeah, just the X-Men book. These are the two books that I haven't opened yet. I haven't opened Phoenix yet. And I haven't opened Black and White.
Fucking Matt was about to like.
Yo, you're not supposed to have that Knicks yet. You ain't supposed to have Knicks yet.
Huh?
Don't show that. You're not supposed to have it yet.
You just said you had it and you read it
It's
already.
Wednesday. It's almost Wednesday.
I'm a retailer.
Okay, so listen.
Almost Wednesday.
Like, of course I have. I'm just telling you.
So,
You're not supposed to.
So just the X-Men book though. Just X-Men.
Okay.
And the direction that they're going with this, because it's a unique direction.
So the direction is that, first of all, I hate the art. I didn't realize Stegman was that horrible. That I could never watch him. He could never draw X-Men again, and I'd be happy. It's especially Beast. It's really bad. Cyclops looks like a teenager. It's really bad. I didn't know Ryan Stegman was that bad. It's bad. Jed MacKay is just a great writer, though, right?
Ish. Hold on. Stegman fucking dropped the ball on Venom. That was awful.
Oh, I didn't read that. So,
all right. I digress.
Okay, this X-Men book, this specific X-Men book that we're talking about.
Matt's like,
I don't remember hating this artwork, man.
Did you see Beast in there?
I did not love the way Beast looked, but I didn't hate the artwork. I mean,
it's bad. It's really bad. Look at Cyclops.
Your Beast looks sick. Beast looks like he has HIV.
Look at Cyclops. So it looks like he's 12.
Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold that up. Hold on. Oh, they made him all like emo.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see Beast.
They just gave him a fucking haircut.
Like he's right out the CW.
Let me see.
Yo, thank you. Like he came from the CW network, the originals or something.
Matt,
like one of the vampire shows. Show him Beast. Please show him Beast.
Show me Beast.
Come on, Matt. Matt, come on. You have to rethink these options here.
Whoa.
He ain't get no sleep in a while.
Wait a minute.
Look at that panel right there in the center.
He's all yoked. He's not like Beast.
I think the reason why, and I feel like this has something to do with what went on with Beast during the end of the Krakoan era and what he was up to.
Well,
I feel like that's going to be explained.
That's the old Beast.
From what I read. Not from what I read.
Oh yeah, because this is a Beast that was resurrected, right?
Yeah, they killed Beast. That's resurrected Beast from.
And this is the resurrected one with the memories of what that Beast did. Yeah,
he's got the last time he was alive, he was an Avenger. Because Beast left one copy of himself that was still purely good. And so that was
So is that Beast? I thought this was the same Beast that knew what happened with the last one.
It is. So what happened was the original Beast, who became just a crazy, insane killer, he left a backup of himself from when he just in case of when he was still a good person.
Yeah.
And they brought that person back to track him. And eventually they kill him and he takes his place. So he did go get he accessed all of his memories and was like, Hank, what have we done? When he watched and saw everything that he would
Which
become.
was a crazy, that was a nuts read.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, who thought of this far out
Hank,
stuff?
What have we done? Like, it was great. But anyway, just to answer your question so we can move on, everyone else can talk. I read it. I didn't think number one was great. I think it was horrible. I love that they chose to use a Sentinel and leave it in the center of the city for the world to recognize, and that they took over a Sentinel base that they made. I love that whole concept. I like Magneto as the headmaster and little things like Quentin Quire calling him Professor M. You know what I mean? I thought that was really cool. And I think Jed MacKay is a great writer. So I think Jed MacKay he's going somewhere. He doesn't get there in the first issue or doesn't let us really know where he's going in the first issue. But I do think he's really a great writer. I think he'll tie it all together and we're going to see some things. So I'm on board.
Did you see it, J-Rob? Did you read it?
Nope.
And no one else read it, just you, Ish?
Yeah.
No, I read it last night.
Oh, you did read
'Cause
it?
I knew we're gonna talk
Yeah,
about
he's reading it still. He's
Nick's-
wrapping up the reading right
Hey,
now.
don't
oh,
go down that rabbit
I'm not
hole.
gonna talk
Oh,
about it.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about reading the subtitles on something else. Never mind.
No, so okay, then this is issue. The idea that mutants aren't exclusive anymore, right? That the specialness, the uniqueness that belongs to mutants can now be, just anybody now. What do you think about that?
Well, we don't know that. We don't really know what do they call themselves? The fourth school.
Yes,
we don't really know what is going on behind closed doors with the fourth school and what, like, we don't really know what technology we don't know if it could be anyone. Obviously, we do know when they say that these candidates weren't really great or didn't live up to that, it certainly takes a certain type of candidate, right? And not every candidate is going to be live up to the billing, so to speak. So, but the idea that they're trying to combine AI and mutant technology with humanity to become like the force evolution is interesting. I want to see where it's going and what's behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know that it can be anyone just yet. But that's interesting, right? Like,
yeah, I think that, it kind of
Mhm.
gave me this idea that, what do the X-Men do when they're up against the X-Men, right? Like, what do you do when you're, the same advantages that you have are the advantages of what you're going against, right? I think that, we've seen it from supervillain mutants, right? But what happens when humanity gets their hands on it and they can replicate it? I think that is interesting. Obviously, the X-Men are a school of students that have existed for decades, right? And they've been trained and they're battle tested, and there's all this experience that goes with that. I just think it's a very interesting take on it. I never saw that coming in the new X-Men book that I was going to read, that this is, part of the direction they were going to take. So I'm intrigued by it.
Boys.
You know what? I'm just going to use this to cancel myself, but I haven't watched The Boys, and I'm still not going to watch The Boys.
Are you serious?
I'm just not an Image fan like that, right? I just, I'm not.
So
Well,
to be fair, imagine superheroes in real life.
Right. I've heard it. I've heard the pitch.
So
I
watch
gave it
the
first
first
episode.
season. Watch the first
I
season.
heard the pitch. I gave it the first episode. To me, it was too much gratuitous violence, and it was just unnecessary, right? It just felt extra. It's not my bag, right?
If I have like crazy powers,
It doesn't get better
I mean, I'm gonna do.
You said it
crazy
doesn't get better.
with the
I
violence.
bailed after
Yeah.
season 2.
Oh,
It doesn't get. As a matter of fact, they push the violence to a
And I
point
feel
where
like-
you're like, God,
But I mean,
damn.
real,
yeah. I feel like
It's
Invincible is
real
that way.
character.
I'm just not a
In
fan of
real
gratuitous
life.
violence.
we how many of us are really gonna meet Clark Kent?
Listen, if I had superpowers like Homelander, I would fucking be I would be the worst villain ever.
You know how
I
many
would
babies you would
be
have,
the
Caesar?
worst.
You would have like 50,000 babies out there.
And they'd kill you. They'd turn on you
Pretty
because
much.
you're the worst villain ever.
I wouldn't have
and
any
they'd kill
kids.
you.
I wouldn't have any kids.
I bailed on Boys.
It's
after
11
season
o'clock.
2. It just
You would
didn't keep
fuck
me.
every broad out there. In
No
a minute.
way.
Yes, you would.
I would
Yes,
give
you
myself a
would.
circumcision.
Broad?
Yes, you
Marginalizes
would.
Are we
the
gonna say
responsibility
broad?
of having superpowers
Broad.
down to
Broad.
I'm gonna go out and
Not
get a lot of
broad,
pussy.
broad. Right?
Bro,
Yo,
man,
you
I
also
got
like
these
on
wings. I
YouTube.
can fly and I can shoot I-beams. Watch me pull this bitch.
Nah, if I had superpowers,
Pull out
it would
game
be.
0.
It would be. I wouldn't want to be a villain. Wouldn't want to be a hero either. But I'd have other plans.
I would be
Did
an
you get to
anti.
the
I would be an anti.
Caesar? Did you get to the episode with the airplane and
Yes, all of it.
watch more?
You know this is the
Did you read the comic?
all the I
Because the
read it
comic's
every
even
night.
worse.
Every night before I go to bed. It's behind me. It's right next to my bedside.
It is nice, man.
You know the thing is about superpowers is the cool thing is that if you had superpowers, would you let people know that you have? Because you become a spectacle. You would be.
That's a good
this,
question.
you would be that.
Because we got
And-
Homelander and we got Superman.
You know the
What-
thing
what-
is that would
Right in the
would
middle.
you? I would probably be the anti-hero because you watch a lot of this videos on Instagram and TikTok of people just being straight up assholes. You're going,
Caesar.
I I had the power.
I am Venom.
Yeah, I wouldn't want people to know I had powers because I'd always lose. You lose. If you let people know you have powers, you lose. I remember.
Yeah, because they'll find a way. That's right.
I remember the movie Powder, man. That dude was letting people know he could do some stuff, and they
Yeah.
came and got him.
That's why Lex Luthor fucked up Superman.
They
because
came
he
and
knew.
got him. They
That's
coming
why
to
he
get
knew.
you.
Spearman on you.
They're coming to get you.
That's right. They'll
You'll
find
never be
something
free
on you.
again.
And you know, immediately the first thing I go to is my loved ones and what danger do I put them in if I reveal that to the world, right?
No, I wouldn't say anything. But that being said, since we're winding down, Umbrella Academy is coming back. I saw the trailer for it. The last final season.
I'm done with Umbrella Academy. I can't deal with
It's the same story over and over.
Yeah,
Every season.
it got really weird to me once
Paige.
made the transition, and I don't have a problem with any of that. But it's hard for me to suspend my disbelief. And so it got really weird. You know what I mean? It's just hard for me. It's because, like, for instance, right? So the character said that they would play Shadowcat again if they respected, if we respected their transition. And I respect your transition. I don't respect Shadowcat being a guy. Right? Like, you're an actor.
How do you feel about Elliot Page?
I have no problem. I like Elliot Page. I like Ellen Page. I have no problem. None. Honestly, I have none. However, as an actor, I don't think that you should force the character to change because you did. I think you should just act as if you know what I mean. Like that's
Game
not.
I actually don't hate that argument. Actually, that's a pretty good argument. Actually,
Trying to hold you know, everyone hostage. Like, oh, the only way I'll do this is if you convert with me.
That's kind of a bullshit move.
That's your choice for your personal life, but we don't. That doesn't mean anything you've ever done. We have to, you know. But then would he or now be upset if every project he is in or was in, they now recast into somebody else, and then is it like, oh, y'all recast because no, it's because our direction is this character is this. Just because you made a personal decision doesn't mean we have to change the direction of this character we created.
House of Dragon characters is perfect for that.
So, who wants to answer this real quick? The X book you discussed was the X-Men, right? What else is coming out still?
Nyx is coming out. Exceptional X-Men is coming out.
NYX.
Uncanny X-Men is coming out. Yeah, but it's Nyx. They're gonna call it. No one's gonna call it NYX.
I am.
Just like nobody called House of X House of 10 or Power.
My self-expression.
No, that's the exact opposite.
Turtles reboot.
But it is
Nobody's
House
talking
of
about the
X,
Turtles
Power of 10.
reboot. Turtles.
Hey,
House of X and Power
not
of 10.
his Nyx. Or not his NYX.
Uncanny X-Men, NYX,
Phoenix,
X Factor, X Force,
Phoenix,
Exceptional X-Men, Phoenix. Mystique is getting a little mini.
Isn't Dazzler getting her own book too?
The Sentinels are getting their own book. I forget what they're calling that. I don't know if Dazzler's getting a book.
I thought I saw something about Dazzler getting her own book.
Storm is getting a book.
Storm is.
Sam, you asked. Samuel, you asked, and you get a shitload.
They just asked the Sentinel. They just added a Sentinels book to the lineup.
Wow, that's listen, guys.
Ronin series is going to be fucking phenomenal. Turtles.
Yeah,
actually,
I gotta throw my Turtles love out there. Turtles.
They were talking about mutants, right?
Yeah,
I read it. Yeah. Actually, to speak to what Matt said, it's interesting, right? Because the Sentinels are getting a book, and these look like very human, hybridized human Sentinels, and I'm wondering if this is
like the cartoon
result of what's going on in X-Men with the Force School,
like the X-Men '97, kind of like. Is that what you're saying? Like humanoid.
No, not the Prime Sentinels, but like
X-Men was like
these are people
that was throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks.
What, X-Men '97? No, those exist. The Prime Sentinels exist.
No, but they were rebooting. They were trying to see, okay, can we make more money off this that we've already thrown out there?
I think that Marvel's strategy when it comes to books like that, it is very much so. Hey, let's Let's just give as much as we can get out there and see what works and what doesn't work. And, we'll go from there. I honestly, I'm really surprised that this She-Hulk book that's running right now is still, I'm surprised they did a volume 2 of it. Sensational She-Hulk now. It's not doing it for me. Nothing.
Well, one thing I'm going to throw out there. We are in 2024. We deserve more Gambit. Gambit is a fucking phenomenal character.
Boy, that's funny as shit. I was waiting for in unison, man. In unison. Well, on that
Gambit's
note,
been
He did it on purpose. He did it on purpose.
Gambit's been effed in the air with no Vaseline.
He did it on purpose. That's because he wears hot pink still in the 21st century and a trench coat. A trench coat. He wears a trench coat in the 21st century.
But
What's up,
John? He wears a trench coat.
Gambit, tell me, Ish. Tell me that Gambit has not been effed in the A with no Vaseline.
It's interesting because the writers don't even respect him. Like they really write him as a joke in certain. They used to, but they write him as like a joke. It's interesting. I just wanted to say to Sam, you got to understand that when you talk about the X titles, and for a long time, especially going into the 90s, the X-Men side of Marvel, just like the Spider-Man side of Marvel, was like its own thing. Spider-Man had its own lineup of titles. X-Men had its own lineup of titles. Didn't need to cross over with the rest of Marvel. As a matter of fact, when they wanted to make another Marvel comic popular, they would put Spider-Man or Wolverine in those titles to make them sell. Because the X-Men it's always been just its own standalone side. Yeah, they would commingle, but they didn't need to. You rarely saw Captain America in an X-Men book or Hercules or what have you in an X-Men book. You know what I mean? The X-Men just had its own side of things. It was its own family of comics. So was Spider-Man. I think those were the only two outside.
And millennials don't know anything about Hercules.
Who?
Millennials.
Right. Well, they changed Hercules now.
Hercules.
He's very much appealing to millennials now.
Well, listen, this is for a whole different conversation. As always, every single time we do panels, we always go over because there's so much to talk about. And here we are thinking that we didn't have enough topics, but when we get a bunch of fucking nerds together, the conversation doesn't stop, especially with a guy.
Fuck you, Caesar.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of, geek. When you have geeks together, that come together, the words of the mouth don't stop. You have one guy here who loves absolutely everything, right? The guy right below me. I don't know if it's this guy right here. Loves everything. I don't think I have yet to see or hear or fucking write or any movie, TV show that he can say it's garbage. In the sense, you know what? I respect it. Because once again, repeat all the time, we live in a world where we get to see superhero movies and TV shows over and over whenever we want.
I appreciate that.
And that's crazy. It still blows my mind that in 2024, when we go back to our 6-year-olds going and getting happy when I used to see Legion of Doom against the Super Friends, I was geeking out. I was like, this is so cool to see this. And now to have the possibility of them, it's just crazy. We live in a
the reality of it is that we've waited our whole lives to be able to see anything like this.
And we are alive in a part of time where we get to see this. Mm-hmm. How do you think that Jack Kirby
Matt, were you alive in 89 when the first Batman came out?
Was I what?
Were you alive?
Yeah, of course I was.
How old are you?
Bro, I'm not as young as you think I am.
Yeah,
you look like you're like 26.
No, this was old.
Yeah, I'm definitely not 26.
I just want to say I want to let everyone know because nothing gets past me. Caesar tried to fool us. When he brought up the Acolyte topic, he was thinking this was just going to be like a 20-second topic. He's like the only four people haven't seen it. He was just hoping. He just did it to just like gloss over it. He had no idea. No idea.
I got fucked in the A without Vaseline.
You gotta catch it. He's like, yeah, 4 of us haven't seen it.
Because I didn't think you guys saw it. I tell you, All right. You know what?
But you
I got that.
learn something, and you learn that, hey, maybe this is something I want to go check out.
Yeah.
Right, and hopefully,
some
some of the viewers who have had their doubts about it or have, given up on it halfway through, they walk away with the same thing. It's nowhere near as bad as what people think it is. It's actually really good and has some really good strong points. It did a really good job of sticking the landing.
But regardless of that, make your own opinions.
Preach.
Who
And that's what
cares
I'm gonna
about
do.
what Ish thinks, J. Rob thinks, Caesar, who doesn't watch or read anything? Who cares about what Matt thinks?
watch.
Caesar watches
Make
stuff.
your own opinions.
Preach.
That
But
is the number one thing.
But it is true. That is true. And
Like what you like. Who gives
because
a
of this
shit
show.
what you collect, what you like, what you read, like what you like.
Because of the show, I have been coerced in the worst way when it comes to being in my mind to change it. Because of this show, I was convinced to get an NYX 9.8 because of Ish, because of you and Frank, because of Ish and Atlas. I am now convinced to watch The Acolyte, and I'm going to watch the Marvels because, as Efren said, I'm going to form my own opinions.
And to Caesar's credit, when he says that he's going to do these things, he usually does, except if he says he's going to read something. But if he tells you he's going to watch something, he's going to
make sure you put that asterisk on there.
He was like, I'm going to read L. Ewing's story. Ain't happening. I'm going to read.
And one thing, I want to throw one more thing out there. Caesar, grab at least 2 Vader 3s, 9.8s. They're cheap right now. Grab at least 2.
I have a raw.
Dr. Afer.
I have a.
No.
I don't even have a raw
Grab
anymore.
2.
I'm done.
Grab 2 9.8s. Grab 2.
Did one of your 9.8s fall? Did one of your books fall?
That's why I'm looking. One of your books is missing.
I took it down because I was going to show you guys something after the show.
I want to see it.
Well, all right, gentlemen. Listen, once again, we're 11 minutes over. Not too bad considering the fact when you get a bunch of geeks together. It's some interesting stuff. It's some good stuff. We didn't touch Deadpool, Wolverine.
It reminded me to drink water.
Which is coming out this late Thursday, Friday. Deadpool Wolverine is going to be the biggest effing movie. I didn't even know. Now, I keep saying let's get the fuck off the show, but what do you mean by GameSpot? GameSpot? What's GameSpot?
GameSpot is a media outlet that.
GameStop.
No. This wasn't GameStop. This was GameSpot. Right? Yeah.
So they reviewed.
We shared it on our page, didn't we?
So
I saw on our page.
Somebody put it up there that GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10.
Right.
GameSpot, they review movies, I guess, right? Is that what they do?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think they do it
like
just like an IGN might do it, right?
GameStop.
I thought it was GameStop, but apparently it's GameSpot.
No, it's definitely GameSpot. GameStop and GameSpot have 2 different brandings. Like it's not the same company, but GameSpot gave it a 4 out of 10. I don't think that GameSpot is a reputable source that I would use for movie reviews. No. But the idea, well, this isn't the first time that I've seen something that, hey, this outlet gave it this. The first one was a 7, and then this one gave it a 4. And so I think that what it is right before the movie is that there's a concentrated effort to try to like dull down the expectation or to shit on the movie, one of the two.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going in because I know Efren has deets that he's definitely not going to show because people spoiled stuff to Efren. He's like, I'm not saying anything, but he knows.
I'm glad we didn't get into this topic. Pete, whoever's talking to you, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
So
I'm going into this movie so open-minded and with no expectations. I'm just going to go in for fun. That's how you're supposed to go into every single fucking movie you go in. It's Marvel, superhero related, pop, whatever it is. Just go and have fun. If you don't like it, don't like it.
Do you guys have anything you're hoping for in the movie?
I was hoping that
something you hope to see
grew up to be attractive. She didn't. It
doesn't matter that she grew up to be attractive. She just grew up and
I would like Laura Kinney to be attractive. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, Laura Kinney is attractive.
I'm not really heartbroken that X-23 looks like a killer.
She doesn't. She just has a pancake.
I think she's hot.
All right, guys.
She has a pancake.
Oh my
She has a
God.
pancake. I saw the.
I mean,
I never noticed.
if it was
Of course you
J-Rob
didn't.
and
Of
Laura
course you
Kinney,
didn't notice. That's my point.
if it's
I didn't
J-Rob and Laura
notice.
Kinney, I'd pick J-Rob because of the cheeks, but Laura Kinney because of the cake.
I like Lady Deadpool.
Hey, what's that back there?
I can't talk about that. We'll talk about that off stage if you want to.
All right. Okay.
What's that back there on your easel, Ish?
A book.
What? I'm looking like what book is that?
This book, The Last Unicorn.
Oh.
Man, where'd you get that from?
This one.
Hey, real quick plug.
I have a couple runs of this.
X23 #1 Delato. Who has
very
it?
important.
I want it.
I meant the one on the easel in the back.
The one on the easel is a signed, very rare signed copy of The Last Unicorn #1 by Peter S. Beagle.
Oh,
Signed.
that's pretty sweet.
Just see, I'm a big Last Unicorn guy.
Ish, who got you that book? Who found you that book?
Me.
Oh,
I searched high and low. I searched
Ish, you got
high and low.
X23 #1 Delato.
J-Rob got this for me.
X23 #1 Delato. Who's
I
got it?
I would never get. I need it. I need it too. You know, I'm an X23 guy as well. You and I have had this conversation before. I don't have it. If I had it, I wouldn't give it to you.
That's my boy. That's my boy Ish. I like the fact.
Matt, you got my text message?
Coming to the dark
Message
side.
you.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to
All right.
go around the room.
Peter has it though. By the way,
Pete, what?
Yeah, he does have
He's
it.
got what?
That Delato cover.
At a Delato cover.
9.8?
Is it a 9.8, Peter? Because of
his is probably raw.
Yo,
because
you
they're
are the
graded
man,
books, but
bro.
it's probably high grade.
God bless you.
If it's a raw and it's high grade, let's talk.
Matt, did he send you feet pics?
Huh?
And Pete,
Is that what happened? He's just sent you
I'll
feet
spend
pics?
money on the right book.
No. Efren sent me something dope.
All right, guys. We're going to go around the room, and we're going to give you guys time now to explain and let people know where they can find you. I'm going to start with J-Rob because
Pete, send me a message.
J-Rob has the shortest one of all time. Go ahead, J-Rob.
You can find me here whenever Caesar invites me. You can and you'll see me, making some comments or post on Comic Senses pages. I do have an Instagram. I don't know what the title is or nothing, and I never check it. So you just got to see me when you see me.
See me when you see me. All right, here we go, Efren. Where we find your ass?
Turtles, Wolverine, Miles. I got every Miles book in whichever we want to talk about. But so hit me up. Savage Comics. That's who I am. Playing reps. Plenty of people know who I am. Ish, J-Rob, Matt. I've been around for a long time, so hit me up. Thank you.
It is very true. Very true. Okay, Matt, what's up, man?
Yeah, you guys can catch me on YouTube. I have a show that I like to post on every once in a blue moon. It's called Revenge of the Nerd. I'm actually considering doing a podcast with my son where we talk about, these pop cultural things and moments from two different lenses. So Revenge of the Nerd on YouTube. Check me out there. I'm also on IG and Facebook, and I post random stuff on Facebook because it's my Facebook and I do what I want. But
And
yeah,
he's amazing.
Rebel.
Ish.
That's me.
Mhm.
Yo, so first of all, I actually really enjoy. I always come on Comic Menu, but I enjoy this one in particular. I enjoy everybody in the stream. I've been on with you guys before at one point in time or another. Really enjoy Efren. Really like him a lot. Matt, J-Rob, out with Caesar. That having been said, I'm Issue X. Robin Hood of the unfair market. Robin Hood of Comic Sense, COMIXSENSC. You can check me out on Facebook page and group. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. You can check me out on Instagram at ishue.x on Instagram. Definitely check me out. That's right. Thank you, Kevin Delgado. Comic Sense, the shop. Grand opening, August 10th, Grand Island, New York. I'm going to have the homie, the Kevin Delgado, up in the shop. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cover artist, an exclusive cover that dropped today of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Jason Aaron. That is the Kevin Delgado out of Buffalo, New York. Yo, we dope here. He's going to be at the shop. We're going to have copies of that book. He's going to be doing a sign-in, all of that. The grand opening. Big get. And I'm telling you, it's a big get. having Kevin Delgado, having the homie John Brugman come in to our shop as artists, is really, it's a big deal for us. We keep it in the family, we keep it at home, and Kevin is the hardest working guy in comics. So shout out to him. I really appreciate him being there. If y'all can come down, if y'all can come down.
Amazing for those who don't know Kevin.
Yeah, he really is sick. If y'all can make it out to Grand Island, y'all need to make it out to Grand Island. Saturday, August 10th at 10 a.m. for the grand opening of Comic Sense, the shop. We have a wall called Gwynny, the Great Wall of Western New York. It holds 200 books, keys, big boy books. When y'all see that wall, you're not going to be ready.
I got to tell you guys, one of the biggest hype men we have on this damn show, Mr. Ish. Kevin is a friend of the show, and we always try to have him on when we can. He's like I said, people love the show because the artists like the show. We let them be who they are, and we enjoy them. What a show! Whenever we have topics like this, we could talk forever. We could talk to the moon hits the floor. You know what I'm saying? Because it's fun. It's fun. It gets the chat going. It gets people going. We get off topic. We get a little crazy, a little stupid, but you know what? It's all in fun. I always keep saying this is such a good community. After all the toxicity that's out there, there's still some good stuff in this community. So once again, you can find me here, obviously every Tuesday at 9:15 with my partner Dale, Culinary Comics. Next week, we are going to have Ivan Tao on with a up and coming artist. She's 16 years old, and we're going to allow her to show her wares, show her stuff, pick his brain, and we're looking to getting another artist to join the show as well. So next week will be a good show. Once again, if you guys are looking for a reel or a voiceover for your promotion, for your book, for your shop, if you need an Instagram reel and you want someone to do voices, I'm your man. So here you go. Anytime you need it, I'm Venom. There you go, Ephraim. Just for you.
I am Venom.
I am Venom.
Oh, that means
Good question,
and
Caesar.
family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Hey, Caesar.
Yeah.
If I just needed like a voiceover to add to like my Alexa, so I can just wake up to that, like it's time to get up or whatever the heck you do.
I could definitely do the and what voice do you want? That voice?
I need your 7.5 of giant size. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Oh,
All that.
yeah. Well, I'm going to show you guys that. But J-Rob, yeah, I could definitely do.
I really don't want to wake up to your voice. I was kidding. I was
Well, you
kidding.
can't do the,
I don't want to wake up to your voice.
Yo, that's real Diddy.
No doggone.
all right, guys. Either way, thank you so much for joining. We're 22 minutes over. I appreciate, love you all, and we'll see you next week with Ivan Tao and some other guests. We're gonna be having some good times. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Peace in the Middle East.